All right, guys, welcome back to the fourth episode of the Hondu channel over here, podcast series. We got Scott Fisher over here. Say hi, Scott.
How's it going, guys? Yeah, back to talk some more football. I promise I'll behave myself this time. And yeah, let's have a good chat about what's been going on in world football, Premier League. Yeah, let's have it.
Lies. He's saying he's not going to behave. But nah, what's up? How you doing, man?
Been going good. You quarantined as usual. Shit's fucked up.
Yeah. Grandma's fanboy over here. Don't forget it. He's the life.
Ramos fan. Sergio Ramos, my boy.
All right. Well, today we're just going to go ahead and jump into it. We're going to do it a little bit differently than how we did it last time. We're going to talk about the six clubs and I'm going to phrase a question that's a debatable question. And between us three, we're going to debate about it. So first thing about Spurs, talking about the result today. We know they won, but it was probably one of the most unconvincing wins I've ever seen from Spurs under Mourinho, and that's even after the Everton game. My question to you guys is and I actually have probably three questions. Let's start with the first one. Are you guys Mourinho out? If you guys were Spurs fans, or even if you're not, are you Mourinho out? Do you think he should be going?
Yes, absolutely. I think, for me, he just plays like a very kind of anti-brand of football in a way. You know, it's just more like, let's get the result rather than like, let's make a statement, you know, like let's make a statement of intent. He keeps changing the formation every single match. You know, there's no kind of fluidity. Like he started Lamela last match. He benched him this match. He played three in the midfield this match rather than playing like two holding mids and a center attacking mid. You know, and it's just, there's no kind of consistency to it. And if I'm a Spurs player and I'm a supporter of Spurs, I'd be kind of looking at it and saying, you know, what's he doing? You know, where's he going with it? You know, where's the consistency? And although they got the result today, it wasn't that convincing. I think first half, like they had, two good chances. Then the second half, they kind of turned it on. But let's be honest, the real reason why they won the match was because of Arsenal defensive errors. I'll be honest. They won that match because Kolasinac played a bad ball to David Luiz, Son scored, and then the marking on the corner was atrocious. That's just how they won the match today. There wasn't like that little bit of brilliance from any one player. It was anti-football. It was slow, kind of sluggish, but they just got the job done in a way. So
yeah, it was kind of like a smash and grab, but you're at home, so it kind of feels weird if you're doing a smash and grab at home.
Yeah, it's a big win. Like, it is a big win. It takes them above Arsenal on the table. It's a good result, but it's just not my brand of football. You know, I don't really.
You wouldn't pay money to see that. You just probably stream it or just look at your One Football app, probably.
Yeah, I'd just check in on the score and be like, if someone scored, okay, cool, but like, I don't want to go out and like actively watch it. You know, I don't want to do that.
Okay. Manav, what do you think? Mourinho out?
No. I don't think Mourinho should be out right now. I'll give a really good reason for that because, like, Pochettino was great, as we all know. He was really underrated by the Spurs fans. Like, Pochettino was the Arsene Wenger to the Tottenham fans. Now they have Mourinho, like, sort of their only hope. But if they remove Mourinho, they won't have anyone to replace Mourinho, and they won't have a world-class manager anymore. The guy who is known to take small teams and make them big and make them explode, I think Mourinho has the chance and has the capabilities to take Spurs to a new level. That guy, if I'm going to be honest here, if that guy can make Lingard world class, he can do anything.
You think Lingard was world class under Mourinho?
I mean, like, the way he played, he was like not that bad as how he is now.
Okay, if you're saying he was not that bad, we have very different definitions.
No, wait. So by world class, I meant if he can make United finish second and make second or third, I think, and make them win the Europa League with Lingard on the right wing, that man is capable of anything.
Okay.
Is what I'm trying to say.
Okay.
So, I mean, like, Arsenal is going to be Arsenal right now. There's nothing you can do about it. And, I mean, the Spurs, like, the Spurs have a good attack, but as we all know, Mourinho is a really, really, really defensive guy. Like, parking the bus type strategies and stuff.
He's a defensive manager. He cares a lot about his back four, not conceding goals, and then getting the odd goal now and then. He's not a manager that's going to be like, I'm going to outscore you 5-4, 5-3, win the game. I'm going to be solid from the back first, get a goal now and then, win like 1 or 2-0.
He's going to win no matter
Mourinho.
what. Well, no matter if it's ugly, no matter if it's pretty. Well, pretty isn't really a word I associate him with, but he's gonna try to win no matter what. I mean, I know that Mourinho as a coach, I would never want to go see his teams play from any team he had. The only team I actually enjoyed, I probably would say watch play, and that's only because of their counterattacking. That was because of Real Madrid. Real Madrid's counterattacking when he was there, but not the build-up play, but the counterattacking you guys had. You had the best counterattack in the world. It was amazing to watch. It was absolutely amazing to see that. But
I mean, because Mourinho was like that from the start itself. If you look at the 2004 Porto treble win, he depended on Ferreira and Carvalho to finish with Deco as a central attacking midfielder.
Yeah, but it wasn't as entertaining as Real Madrid. It was not it wasn't as nearly as entertaining. You had Ronaldo just at the peak of it, just hitting it from long range, being in the box. I mean, for me, I know Inter was kind of the same way, but Inter didn't break goal scoring record like Real did. Real had the most goals scored in the league, I believe, right? Ever, broke Spanish history. Yeah,
broken the record.
But I'd say that also goes along with like the kind of caliber of player that you have, because you're going from Cristiano Ronaldo to like Heung-min Son, and like it's just a different level that you have now. You don't have those kind of technical players in that Tottenham midfield. I'll be honest, you don't. You have Harry Winks, who's a workhorse, he'll make tackles, he'll kind of keep the ball ticking. You have Musa Sissoko, he's running the show, he's a tank, he's basically the replacement for Wanyama, he's breaking the play up.
Dele Alli.
Yeah, you got Dele Alli, he's technical, but he's not like, he's not a Deco, he's not going to give you that. He's not like a moderate.
And Ndombele.
Ndombele's kind of fallen off. I can see why Mourinho, I know Mourinho says he still has him in his plans, but he's not playing him. He could have played him for 20 minutes today and he could have done something easily in the last few minutes against Arsenal, but he's not. So it just comes with the territory and the teams that you get. And that Real Madrid team is drastically different from the Spurs team that he's inherited. And the Manchester United team.
Would you say it was the caliber of player, or just that, or was it also the character of the players? Because we got to admit, football has changed. You don't have the same character as a John Terry in defense, or as a Ramos in defense. Or, you know what I mean? How many times have we seen a defender like Pepe? I mean, as much as we dislike Pepe, that was a defender. I mean, he wanted to defend more than anything. You don't see those type of, and I like to call it what it is. Back then, that was the last time where you actually really saw men in football, really. That was the last time you actually saw characters that was beyond football, these guys are like leaders to follow and stuff. There are very few now that you see that you can say, oh, this is an amazing character off the pitch. I mean, I'm sure there's no doubt that, Virgil van Dijk is an amazing character off the pitch. I mean, he's Liverpool's second captain, right? Or third or something.
Yeah.
And that was
second. Yeah, he's the vice captain.
He's the vice captain. That's purely on his character and ability as well, but mainly on his character. He just exudes that confidence. But who's that person at City besides De Bruyne that would you say has that mentality that Mourinho really wants? Because I think that also plays a part into what his teams have. Not only does he not have the caliber of players, but the kind of characters that he's looking for. He doesn't have those anymore. Players nowadays, they die for they do that in practice. It's a joke that people be diving in. It's normal. It's the new norm. People don't play the game as they don't do it in an honorable way. They just do it to win. There's no honor that much anymore. It's just to win.
I think
I
going
mean,
off of your point, Mourinho is a terrible manager. He doesn't manage personalities well. He doesn't.
Is he a terrible man manager now, or just terrible man manager like in his entire career?
so Mourinho was from the start not able to like get along with the players completely, or like he did not have the personality trait from the start. Like kind of like Pep, that you're good, I'm gonna keep you. I think you're getting old, you're losing your mojo, you can get out, type of thing. So, what I would say about Mourinho is that I think the guy should have a chance right now because he came mid-season. Pochettino was kicked out and he had to come.
Mm-hmm.
And with everything going on, and I'm pretty sure he'll be making moves in the transfer window as well. Like rumors are that Barcelona want to buy Ndombele and Ryan Sessegnon. And Ryan Sessegnon is kind of like the counter-attacking wing-back we can look at the moment.
They don't need a counter. Okay, that's a different. I don't know why Barcelona would even want this. They need a.
No, I was talking about Tottenham. Tottenham is the type. Ryan Sessegnon is the type of player that can fit in the Mourinho system.
Oh, okay, that's what you mean. Okay.
I don't want him to leave.
Okay.
I don't know if rumors are true or not.
I wouldn't want him to leave either. He's a good young player ever since his Fulham days, because I do follow Fulham a lot as well, and I watched him. He's a baller. He is, and he needs to play. He needs to play matches. He needs to get minutes. But under Mourinho, I think Mourinho's going for experience over youth, in a way.
Mourinho always goes for experience.
Absolutely. Yeah.
I mean, he just wants to win. I mean, and I don't blame him for that. I mean, if I need to win trophies right now, if I wanted to win trophies right now, I'm gonna go for experience right off, and it's not the team's fault. I mean, could you imagine Mourinho at Ajax with that Ajax team with the young, David Neres? I mean, that's a joke. That's funny. That's actually real funny to even imagine. But now I'm to your point. I would give Mourinho another season. I don't like him as a
give him a full season. Give him a full season.
I'll give him another season. Let him get some more transfers in, because I don't trust really. I don't think Ben Davies is a great defender. I don't think Aurier. I mean, today he just had moments to where it was just like, man, you just made stupid decisions. It was like consistently he made stupid decisions. I don't trust Aurier. I probably their best defensive player on that team for me might be just
Toby Alderweireld.
I was going to say Sanchez. He might be the best one in my opinion. Because Alderweireld is good enough. He's good, but he's going to get turned by somebody who actually knows how to use pace. I mean, if the ball is in the air, I guess I can trust Alderweireld. And yes, he scored today. That boosts him up in the transfer market a little bit, I guess. But he's just, for me, he's past his day. In his prime, yes, he was amazing. He was a great center back. But I think now, what is he, 32?
Yep.
33. He's not a Premier League level center back anymore. I think he can go to Serie A and be great. I think he can be like Godin and go to Serie A and be I don't even know how Godin's exactly doing, but we know how Godin was. He was the defensive linchpin for Atletico. But I would say I would give Mourinho another season. And I'm glad, okay, we're all to that point, give him another season. But in terms of Spurs, if you guys, I'm going to hit you, Scott, with two questions, and it's going to be just one person. But if you can get rid of one person for Spurs, and then if you would also bring in one person to Spurs, who would those two be?
Okay, so getting rid.
It could be manager too.
It can be a man. Okay, I think, you know what? It's a difficult one because there's a lot of kind of deadwood at Tottenham.
But it's Corona. It's Corona. We can't really. This is a Corona time. This is a Corona question.
Yeah, it's difficult because they're not really playing Vertonghen, so I just get rid of Vertonghen. I'll be honest. Like, I know he's very seasoned and he can play left back and all that, but his legs are gone, and he's pretty much. I think he's done. I trust Alderweireld more than Vertonghen. I'll be honest. I don't think Vertonghen is as good as he was. I think, like, back 2 seasons ago when Spurs had Alderweireld and Vertonghen at the back, They were brilliant.
Yeah, they were
Overall,
probably one of the best. They were one of the best center back pairs in the league. Not the best, but one of the best.
yeah, and they were getting what? They were getting top 4 and stuff like that. So now it's changed. So they've signed Davinson Sanchez. That's cool. Eric Dyer's actually looked pretty decent at centre back when he's been playing. He's been making a lot of tackles, a lot of blocks, But I'm looking at Batonga and I'm thinking, he's getting on in age. He's like, 33 now, I think. Alderweireld is 31, so I'd kind of keep him. I'd keep him for another year or so, and he's kind of maybe in his prime / hitting the end of his prime, something like that. But if I'm getting rid of someone, I'd probably get rid of Vertonghen. They don't need him. They don't need him. I think he's just. I don't think they need him as a player.
I can agree with that. That's a good move. He would be. I'll tell you mine later after Manav, after we do his. But that's a good shout out. Who would you want to bring in if you could bring in, and realistically, not Messi or something like that, but just a realistic person.
Realistically, I'll be honest. I think their front line is good. I think they have a good front line. It's good. It's quick. Midfield wise, I honestly think it's okay. It can do a job. The midfield 3 today were pretty decent, and they do have a lot of midfielders.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna bring in someone. If I'm gonna bring in someone, it's probably gonna be a right back. Because I'll be honest, I know it because Ben Davies has Ryan Sessegnon as his competition. He does. Mm-hmm. So Ben Davies has to perform to keep Ryan Sessegnon out of the team from starting. Aurier doesn't really have anyone challenging him in that position. So if we're looking at a right back to bring in, it's a difficult one because someone
Are you looking for more defensive fullback or more of an offensive fullback?
I'm thinking Mourinho likes how Aurier gets forward, and Ben Davies got forward a bit today as well. So someone that's a bit, bit more offensive, but I can't really.
Herrera from Leicester. I think that would be a good shout.
Actually, yeah, that would be a good shout. But I'm not really sure he'd leave Leicester at this point.
That's
because, Leicester are flying high and they're doing really well. If I'm thinking a lower league team, Max Aarons. Max Aarons from Norwich. Young, quick, attacking. He's just gotten relegated with Norwich. They're probably not going to hold on to him this summer. I think realistically, if you want someone to challenge Aurier, Max Aarons is probably the guy you want to go for. I'll be honest. I think him, maybe if Bournemouth get relegated, someone like Jack Stacey, young right back as well, who can attack. But if it was my first choice to go for a right back, it would be Max Aarons.
Okay, good shout. Good shout. Manav, if you had one person to get rid of for Spurs and then one person to bring in, who would those two be?
So, sorry, just give me a second. Yeah. So one person, I would go for Jan Vertonghen too, because the guy's getting old. He's dead wood. No use carrying him. It doesn't make sense keeping him in the team, paying his wages, etc., etc. Now, I would like to bring in a central midfielder because the midfield needs some serious help. So I know they have Getson Fernandez. He's cultivating. They have, I think they have Giovanni Lo Celso. He came from Paris, and Sissoko is all right.
I'm not gonna lie, Lo Celso's a pretty dirty player.
Yep. So the player I would want to bring in is Ezequiel Palacios.
Oh.
He
really? Okay, that's an interesting one.
Advanced playmaker, amazing guy. Recently, just from World Play to Bayer Leverkusen, he's performing at. I think he's played 4 or 5 games, but he is a perfect fit for the Prem, and he will do wonders in that midfield. I believe in the guy.
Okay.
Getson Fernandez is already a box to box, and if they both combine, that's a lethal midfield.
Okay, that's a good shout. It's a good shout. If I was gonna get rid of one, I would definitely do Vertonghen. That's actually a good shout. It was either Vertonghen or Aurier, but if I'm being honest, Aurier has had his moments. Vertonghen has had his moments on the bench. I mean, really, that's more than anything. So I wouldn't. I would get rid of Vertonghen if I was going to bring in one player. Uh, uh, I would bring in a center back because I think Spurs really need someone else in that defensive line to replace Vertonghen. If I was going to get a center back, bringing anyone realistically wise, is Skriniar realistic for Spurs?
Oh,
I wouldn't say so. I think they've blown the budget on the stadium. They need to be smart with their money.
Okay. If they're being smart, then if I was going to be smart, I would go with Milinkovic from Fiorentina.
oh, that's
Yeah, that's a good shot.
He's 6'5". Honestly, I've been waiting for someone who is, that kind of size for the Premier League to come back. Because, I mean, the two tallest center backs I've ever seen out there since who've ever had that presence I've last seen was like, Rio and Vidic. Those two standing up, I mean, Jesus, I wouldn't play against them for the life of me. You couldn't pay me to meet them. It was ridiculous. If my second choice, and this is, I don't. This is the only time I'm going to do this second choice. It was who's that guy who plays at I think he's maybe at Watford, but something Bowley.
Feed Bowley, I think. Let me check.
Oh, do you mean Cabasele?
No. It may not be Watford.
Or it might be West Ham. Issa Diop?
No. It's not that. It's not him. You know what? Forget it. Let's just keep with Milinkovic. I like Milinkovic. He's Serbian. I don't think it has anything really to do with it.
Willie Bowley plays for Wolves.
Wolves, that's it. Bowley from Wolves. He would be the second option if I couldn't get Milinkovic. But I think Milinkovic is, matter of fact, I don't even think it costs that much to get him. I think the most would be about maybe 40 mil, but in today's market, that's pretty much 40 cents. So I think 40 mil is a steal for someone who's like, what? I think Milinkovic is like 22? 20.
Yeah.
Are you talking about Sergio Milinkovic-Savic?
No. That's way expensive. That's way out there. I think it's Nikola Milinkovic. He plays with Fiorentina. But
yeah, I know who you're talking about. Yeah, the big guy. He plays in the back three. He's good. He's techie on the ball. He's a big guy, strong, kind of no nonsense. Yeah, he reminds me of Vidic a lot. So it's a good pick, I'd say. Okay. Yeah.
Well, let's move on to our next club. So after Spurs, let's just talk about Arsenal because we might as well just give that quick. You know what? No, let's just jump into Liverpool because I've gotten. This is the first time they've tied, I think, since like January 2019 from that last result. And the question I want to ask about that is it just because they're champions now and they're on that champions high, kind of like when you're in high school, you have that senioritis and you're just fucking around in school a little bit because you're a senior. Is it kind of like that? Liverpool are kind of in a champions high right now, or is it like are they really just playing? Are other teams doing better right now? Is it because of COVID? Are people coming back? What's happening? Is it champions high or what's happening with Liverpool? Scott?
It's a difficult one because, like, you see Liverpool, they have an off week. They tie at Everton, but then they go and they win at Crystal Palace. Like they win at home to Crystal Palace. They go and they get slapped around by Manchester City, and then they go back out and they win again, like against Aston Villa. So I mean, when you're the Premier League champions, you kind of just do get that buzz, and it's also just like you don't really need to play for anything anymore in a way. So your motivation drops. You're not as driven as a player. But I'm sure Klopp is instilling in his players, it's like that isn't good enough. I'm sure he threw the hairdryer around in the changing room after the Man City result.
And the
Is that
fans
what?
not being there, that's a big thing too. Because now, not only is your motivation gone, but the fans there to help push you on, or if they're booing you or anything like that, they're not there. So the only person who can motivate you is Klopp, and that's it. He must feel alone out there a little bit.
Yeah, it's not like a fortress anymore because Anfield is pretty much a fortress with everyone there, and the atmosphere is so hostile. It is just that environment that they're lacking, I think. But they're still getting results. Like the win against Crystal Palace was fine. Win against Aston Villa, yeah, they're struggling, it's fine. Man City match was atrocious. First match out of quarantine was against Everton, and it's just like, yeah, okay, a draw, didn't concede, that's okay. But they don't really have anything to play for. Like, they're playing for records now, and like, you do want to be a record-breaking team, but it's also just like, you can't get invincible anymore. You've already won the Prem. I'll be honest, if I'm Jurgen Klopp, I'm more focusing on just getting my team ready for the Champions League.
I mean, they're already knocked out.
I know,
they're already
but
knocked out.
I'm sorry, no, I meant for like next season. Like I'm already thinking a season ahead.
Okay, that's what I'm
I'm like trying players out. I'm doing different stuff. Like I see he's playing like Curtis Jones and like Nico Williams. So I'm preparing for like the league next year and like the Champions League next year. So, they don't get embarrassed again in the Champions League, and also they can retain the Premier League. That's what I'm thinking of. I'm playing like, some youngsters and stuff, giving them some minutes and like just kind of shifting my team around and trying different stuff. So he's done it a few times. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. But I think just the lack of motivation in the players, just it isn't the same as it was like when they didn't have the league title there. And like you saw it last match as well against Burnley when Klopp and Andrew Robertson went up to the referee and they were just like furious and about like a penalty, and like they didn't win the match. And it's just like, they are winners, they want to win, but it's just I just don't think they have that same hunger and desire as before. So that's just kind of what's changed. I think after winning the Premier League title, they're kind of done for the season. Klopp is more just,
they've checked out kind of in a way.
They're checking out. They're thinking about summer, they're thinking about next year, thinking about next campaign, Premier League, Champions League, whatever competitions they're in still. So they're just kind of checked out at this point. So I do think what you were saying, Jordan, about them getting senioritis is pretty accurate. But yeah, the motivation just, it isn't the same as it was before.
All right. Manav, what do you think?
I mean, to be honest, I always thought of Liverpool as the elephant hanging on the tree from the tail. Like, they're doing good, but at some time they're going to fall. And this season also, I really did not expect them to win the Premier League.
Really?
Even with the way they started out, I was like, this is Liverpool, shit's going to happen. So, from my understanding, Jurgen Klopp and the players have given it really their all. Like, it shitstorm, like everything just went through fully.
Hold up, Manav. Hassan's wanted to join in. Yeah, your boy couldn't stay away. All right, let me just put him in real quick. Manav, keep going.
Yeah, so Hassan sideways, by the way.
What's up, bro? Shit.
Hey, so I think in the last episode I had said that Manchester United are title contenders. One of the factors of that being is that the Liverpool squad is definitely going to be like really exhausted next year, and you can already see like a little bit of
fatigue. They're fatigued. They've worked so hard. It's just like, some of them are losing their legs.
Yep.
They're fatigued.
You can see glimpses of that already starting the season. Like, they won. We don't have to give a fuck about it anymore. We just like go on, play on. But like, they're 100% they deserved it this season, but next season they're gonna lose their mojo for sure. I'm calling it right now. I can bet on it if you want.
I already have a couple kids that a couple of my clients, they I made like a $35 bet about like who's gonna be top 3 next season. So I can't take any more bets, man. I've already I made $100 bet with an Arsenal fan. I was like, you're not gonna win. the Premier League till like at least 2025. Like you're not going to win it until 2025. And he didn't want to shake on it, but I was like, I bet. He was like, how much you want to bet? I was like, 100. He was like, no, coach. I'm like, yeah, we're going to bet 100 on it.
I mean, and as far as we can speak about the Champions League, they lost to Atletico Madrid, and Atletico Madrid hasn't lost to any Champions League team that does not have Ronaldo in it. It's always a team that has Ronaldo in it. Like I think the past 3 or 4 years.
Okay.
So even they had their mojo, but you could see that Klopp's aim wasn't the Champions League or any other cup competition this year. It was just the Premier League.
Okay.
Because
So you agree with Scott? It's like a Champions high right now, or like senioritis right now?
Yep.
Okay. Hassan, I know you just catch it coming into this, but right now we're just asking for Liverpool with the results that just happened and stuff and the fixtures coming up next. Do you think their form so far, has it been as a result of like Champions high? Like, they've done it. They're pretty much out of gas right now, or what is it? Why are they struggling so much? And it seems like they're struggling in nearly every match. They're not as, explosive as they used to be.
Well, you could say because they're champions, but you can they're trying to chase the 100+ points to get like what they missed last season. They're trying, but I don't think they have the legs anymore because they tried really hard throughout the season. And since they're already the champions, they're like we're the champs. But you clearly see from the coach's perspective and everything, he's putting out the lineup that.
Hassan, you might want to just go to video. You might want to just go to turn off your video, Hassan, because you're it's looking awful, man. You looking like Mr. Creep, man, when you're moving.
What happened?
Oh, you got 7-Eleven Wi-Fi.
Yeah, it ain't looking good.
The
You
bandwidth.
can still talk. It's just you should probably just go to a different screen.
Should I leave and come back?
No, just put a picture of Lacazette up and turn your camera off. Lacazette scoring the worldie.
You saw that, dude.
He loves it, bro.
It's scored in Europe right now, but when Robertson scored the header today, they were comparing him to Ramos.
Oh, fuck that.
And I was
nah.
Imagine me being a Ramos fanboy. It was I want to kill the person who said that.
Okay. This is going on YouTube, man. Be careful.
Yeah, I want to kill the person who said that.
I'd like to just make an announcement that I, Jordan, do not condone any violence here. But any violence outside of this is happily condoned, unless I'm involved in it. Then I am not condoning by any means. But Hassan, you were basically saying they're just tired. They're tired, pretty much. Their legs are gone. They can't really. I mean, do you guys really think they're going to get the 100 points? Do you think do you guys real quick? Yes, no, answer, no explanation. Do you guys think they're gonna break that 100-point record, Scott?
No.
Oh, no, go ahead, Manaf.
Oh, I'm saying no.
You're saying no?
Yep.
Maybe, honestly.
I said yes or no, Scott.
I'll say yes. I will. I think next, they have Arsenal, Chelsea, and Newcastle next. They can probably get, I think, 6 out of 9 points from that. And they're on 93 right now, taken to 99. Yeah, I think they can get 2 wins and a draw and get 100, if not 3 wins. I do.
Hassan, what do you think?
I think they'll push through.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure they will.
All right. Oh man, Mr. 7-Eleven here. My goodness. Okay. So my take on it, on Champions High. I think they are in a Champions High, but at the end, I do think that the one thing that I think they lack more than City is that City are kind of they're ruthless, and it's to the point that it's kind of there's no point in pressing against them. Liverpool is kind of the same way, but it's more so City will make you chase after the ball, but Liverpool would just run at you. They have unbelievable energy, unbelievable stamina. They're like, you ever seen World War Z, that movie where the zombies are chasing after you and forming that like wall and shit, all that, those little forms and shit. Like, they're kind of like, Liverpool's kind of like that, and City's kind of like, we're gonna be like surrounding you. There's gonna be always one more City player around you than the other, and we're gonna pass away around you. I agree with Manav in the place that I think Liverpool will break the record, but not because they're so great, but I think because Chelsea's defense is, Chelsea's defense. I mean, someone's going to let in some kind of goal. Arsenal, Mustafi, Kolasinac, they're just going to do some shit. Luiz too. And then the last team they're probably going to beat. But I think they're in a high right now. They've given everything they can, and I'm not surprised that they're losing and drawing, because even when I watch Liverpool now this season, even though the results say that they're like untouchable, if you watch them play, it's kind of, you see the vulnerability. Even Van Dijk last season, Van Dijk was, ridiculous. You couldn't get past him. This season, I mean, you've seen Van Dijk make more mistakes. I mean, you guys have seen him falter. You haven't seen him being at his absolute best, and I think that's what Liverpool have been. They've been a combination of being better, but they've also the combination of other teams being worse. Because, I mean, besides them, what other team has a defense really and an offense? I mean, each other team has either an offense or it's just a defense, but no team really has both. And
Just United has it currently.
yeah, and United is just coming together at the end of this. So that's my take on it. I think they're really just in a high, and they've really just given it their all. Any Liverpool fans who are watching this, I don't want to take this away, and I don't hope I speak for the rest, for Scott, manavssjain. You guys it was a great season for you guys. I'm happy that you guys won your title, but yeah, I don't take it away that the fact that you guys, these last few matches, I've been watching you guys, and you guys have been shitty. Oh my goodness! Even if there was no Corona and someone said you can go to watch a Liverpool match for free, fuck that. I wouldn't. Y'all are just boring and horrible to watch right now. I understand you guys are giving it your all, but golly, man, it's horrible. It's horrible to watch you guys right now. You play like you have tinnitus or some shit, or like you got arthritis. Like
They're just out the blocks, though. Like,
Yeah.
every single game, there's not that like same energy, that same drive, same passion. They just don't. They don't have it. Not anymore. They did when they were, when they needed to win, but they just don't. They don't need to now.
Yeah, and like when City attacks you, it's kind of like insatiable. I don't think City will ever be satisfied. No matter what they win, they will never be satisfied. And offensively, they will never really drop off too much. Usually it's because of personnel. But defensively, we already know they're not where they should be. But Liverpool, there always seems, like Manav said, there's always seems to be a little bit of a – you can go through them. You can get through Liverpool maybe a couple times and maybe get that chance and stuff like that. They're not as supreme as I think everyone makes them out to be, but they are deserved champions. I don't want to take that away from them. They are by far the best team this season in the Premier League and probably in the world. Disregarding that Atletico Madrid defeat and disregarding Bayern's season, they've still been probably the best team in the world this season, and I take my hat off to them. But asking the same question that I asked you guys about Spurs, if you could let one Liverpool player go and then bring one person into Liverpool, who would it be? Scott, go ahead and start us off.
All right, so
That's gonna be tough. Not gonna lie.
it's a difficult one because there are like a lot of. Actually, no, I can figure out someone. Like,
I'm about to say you don't want to sell Kiri.
I'm selling Lovren.
That's a good shout.
He doesn't start, and he's just kind of taking up a wage. And I know, like, they have Matip as a cover. Like Fabinho can play centre back as well, and he did that, the other day. So I mean, they don't really need Lovren. They don't, and they have a young Sepp Vandenberg coming up as well, young kid. So yeah, they don't really need Lovren. I think they could get some money for him, and he can go be, in his words, the best centre back in the world somewhere else. So yeah, I'd say get rid of Lovren. He's a little bit of deadwood. If I'm being realistic, if I'm bringing someone into that team that can make an impact,
it better be a world-class midfielder, Scott.
Thiago Alcantara.
Wow.
There we go.
Thiago.
That's a good shout. Shout.
You bring him in, like, you have Fabinho, CDM, Henderson box to box. Let Thiago go and create. That's what he's born to do. Let my guy go dribble at people. Let him play through balls. Let him do that. Like, he'd be insane. I'd love to see him in the Premier League, just at any team. I'd love to see him at any team. But I honestly think, like, if he could go anywhere, Liverpool, he'd be brilliant. He'd ball out.
That's a good shout. That is a good shout. I thought maybe someone might say this name I'm thinking of later on, but we'll see. Manav, who do you think who should go? One person you would have go, and then one person who you want to come in.
So the one person I want to out of Liverpool right now is Xherdan Shaqiri.
I knew someone was gonna say it.
I mean, like, they don't really need him. He doesn't have the same mojo he used to have, and like he's just dead wood right now. Like, because they have such a good right wing options that they even got that young Japanese kid Mina Mino or something like that.
Amino
From Leipzig.
Yeah.
I mean, like, yeah, they definitely don't need Shaqiri.
He was from Salzburg. RB Salzburg.
Salzburg?
I think so, yeah.
He's from Salzburg.
But he's in the Red Bull system. Yeah.
He played where he was Haaland's teammate.
Yeah.
And the one person I would bring in right now, I know many people are gonna, like, judge me for this. I would say Karim Benzema.
What?
Hold on. I'm sorry.
Jordan's lost.
Okay.
30-year-old Benzema. Man, you could. Mbappe's interested. Timo Werner could have come. 29. Yo, he's done.
Yeah, wait, hear me out though. Like, they use Firmino right now. Firmino isn't as good of a forward he is right now, and Salah and Mane are the main finishers. So a false nine could really help them out.
If this man says false nine one more time in another podcast episode, I swear, Sergio Ramos F9.
Manav is the kind of guy to say Firmino is the defensive kind of forward that you need. He tracks back on the fence.
I mean, Firmino has been, like, he's not that good. I don't know why people say he's good. He's not that good.
He does the role. I think Firmino does the. I'm not saying he's world class. I don't think he's ever been world class. Maybe he's been in world class form, but I would never consider him a world class player.
He's never been more than elite.
Okay, but why would you bring Benzema for at least 50 million, at least 60 million?
Guy is in his prime right now. He would be, like, strikers go on till, like, the 33, 34.
He doesn't even start for France.
Because he had a whole controversy with France. That's why France kicked him out.
Does he have the right mentality for Klopp? Is he going to press for Klopp? Is he going to work his ass off for Klopp?
Yeah, he will. He fits the system perfectly. He would be the right forward to help Salah and Mane out right now. that guy provided for Prime Bale and Ronaldo together.
That sounds like a secondary Pjanic and Arthur swap right there. That sounds like the next one.
I mean, I'm not talking about a swap. Like they should buy him. Benzema would be like really useful. And there have been rumors that Liverpool were gonna buy Benzema, and he would definitely fit the Klopp system. And if he does go to Liverpool, like I think their attack would be like really lethal.
Oh, okay. Wow, that's a lot to take in. Even Scott sat back a little bit. He's just taken back. I know. That's.
I don't know
Wow.
what to say.
I mean this genuinely. I hope someone roasts you in the comments for this. I hope someone comes at you. I really do.
Someone.
Benzema would be so good under the Klopp system. I'm not even kidding.
Hassan, save this child. Save him.
All right, Mom. Can y'all see me now?
We can see you. Damn,
good?
I can see your hand more. Okay, so who would you let go and who would you take for Liverpool? One person let go, one person take.
They have overall they have good players. It's hard to let go of any of them, but probably Matic because
Really?
because they already have.
Hang on, just before you say anything else, I think everyone's forgotten that Lovren is on Liverpool's roster.
Yeah,
and he's come out and he said that he is one of the best centre backs in the world.
I wouldn't sell Matip.
He's actually not bad.
But Matip when
is
Gomez
better
was
than Lovren.
Yeah, about to say when Gomez was injured, Matip was the one who was starting it. Him and Van Dijk as a pair.
He did step up, but he's like I don't know. I don't see him like that. I think
you don't
Lovren
see that 6'5" behemoth man. You don't see that guy winning. Okay. I'm sorry. I gotta respect your wishes. You would get rid of Matip, and it's purely on personal reasons. You have beef with him. I don't know what it is, but you must have some beef on him.
Hey, before Hassan, you say anything?
But,
like in 2018, Arsenal and Liverpool both were rumored to buy Benzema.
Nigga, shut up. Shut up. Shut up. Stop, Manav. Stop. We'll get
He will
God
be
damn.
such a good. But
Stop.
from a football manager guy, I know he would be really good.
All right. Hassan, who would you bring in? Who would you bring in?
And the one player I would bring,
Yeah.
it might be controversial, but I'm gonna bring Coutinho straight right back. They really need that creating midfielder, and he's rumored to come.
Done out here. Done out here.
I'm telling you, man.
I would take him over Benzema.
Yes, I would absolutely.
I would take him over Benzema. That's a move I can. It's hard to get behind, but it's easier than the Benzema one. It's a lot easier.
Scott said Thiago.
Hey, that wasn't a compliment. Hold up, nigga. That wasn't a compliment. That was just me saying, you know what?
Thiago wasn't a good choice either.
Hold up, Benzema, sir. You can't be talking like this. You are clearly sleep deprived. You are clearly sleep deprived, Manav. You've got to be. Oh my goodness. Okay, Hassan. So you would take Coutinho and you would let Matip go. I can live with that. It's difficult, but I can live with that. If I was gonna let one person go, it's tough. It's because it's between Lovren and Shaqiri. But if I was gonna choose one, it would be Shaqiri, because simply he's just injured so much, and even Lovren isn't as injured as he is. And I mean, Lovren is like that person who's what's less than a squad rotation player.
Right. Not even sporadic.
What?
Yeah, that's it.
Like,
That's what
just someone who comes in now and then.
Yeah, that's what Lovren would be to me. He would be the next person I would sell after Shaqiri. That's truthfully what he would be. He would be waiting in line like he is at the DMV. Like, that's truthfully what Lovren would be. So I would sell Shaqiri. If I was gonna buy one person, I know they can't get him. No, I think they could. But if I was gonna bring in one person, Damn, it's difficult. But I would love to see. I'm thinking between two players. It's either Havertz or Thiago.
Havertz is actually rumored to join Liverpool this season.
Yeah, but the only thing about it is that Havertz playing in Firmino's position, I think, would be maybe better because he can actually get a header. He's actually like 6'2" when he scores headers and stuff. And then also he's technically very good. And then there's Thiago, and I think Liverpool does need a star in the midfield. They don't have a star, really. I mean, you say Fabinho, yes, he's one of the best defensive mids in the world, maybe the best. But I would definitely say
The best defensive midfield in the world right now? Are you serious?
Fabinho.
Yeah.
Name me someone else. Maybe I'm forgetting someone.
The Casemiro.
No, I would choose Fabinho over Casemiro. But I like Casemiro. He's very good. He's very, very good. But I would choose Fabinho over him. But I would say I would get Thiago because I do think Liverpool is lacking that midfielder star. They just don't have someone who can attack. Like if Henderson attacks me, I'm not afraid. Wijnaldum, I'm not really afraid. But Thiago, I mean, that man, he just oozes that confidence with the ball. I mean, you know when you see a player who practically, who's like, oh, this man, he probably sleeps with the ball. Thiago looks like he does. He looks like he kicks the ball his whole life.
He's so techie, like just so technically gifted. His ball control, his passing, his touches, they're just his dribbling.
He's a La Master product.
And his playmaking ability, Fabinho can already hit one, like from he can already give some good balls and stuff. But I really think Thiago, he can break the play, which is what the rest of them can't. Henderson can't dribble through anyone. Wijnaldum, I don't think he really can. I would never sell Wijnaldum if I'm being honest. I love Wijnaldum. But I think Thiago. I think Thiago, I would bring him in, but I would get rid of Shaqiri. And I think Thiago is actually – I think that's actually going to happen. If I'm going to be honest, I think that's actually a move that's going to happen. But that's my take on it. Let's go ahead and go to Chelsea because, oh, my God. I was with a Chelsea fan when I watched that Sheffield game. And when he turned the TV off, because I was helping him move, and when he was about to turn the TV back on, he didn't know the score. And I didn't know either. I just said, I bet you it's 3-0 for Sheffield right now. And he was like, let's see. And it was 3-0. But is the question for that loss is Lampard to blame? Or the players? Or is it a combination of both? Scott.
I honestly think it's a combination of both. I do. I think players are not working hard enough, but it's also like Lampard's missed something in the lineup. He's gone with a weakened midfield, not having Kante.
Well, Kante's injured.
I know Kante's injured, but he's gone with a weakened midfield by having Jorginho play that role. Like Jorginho ain't gonna be my guy who's breaking up play and running at people trying to make tackles. Kante does that.
Who would you have put in there instead of Jorginho?
That's
actually a tough question.
Because I honestly,
I know Billy Gilmore got injured.
I would have gone with Kovacic.
I mean,
you would say Kovacic, but
Yep.
As a defensive mid.
Not as a defensive mid. Like I don't think Jorginho was playing defensive mid.
Yeah, I'll be honest. I wouldn't have played three. I wouldn't have played three in the midfield. I'd have played a 4-4-2, or I would have matched Sheffield's 5 at the back.
I would have done 5 in the back too.
I would have played 3 at the back.
I would have put Tomori. I would have gotten Tomori, Zuma, and Rudiger, and just put them in the back. And no matter
Tomori's still injured as well. That's the thing. So you couldn't have put him in as well. And I was gonna say Billy Gilmore to play CDM. He got injured as well. So if I'm being honest, I would have played I'd have played a 4-4-2.
Okay.
Or like a 3. 3-4-3. And I would have played Reece James, right wing back, Emerson, left wing back, as Piliqueta as a centre back because he can actually play right centre back and he does a decent job there.
Mm.
Then I would have had Christensen playing in the middle because I do think his technical ability is better than his defensive ability. So playing up the back, I think he would have been better there. Then I would have had Rudiger, just as like your enforcer. And then if you go into the midfield, Kovacic and Barkley, they can do the running. And then up front, my front three, Pulisic and Tammy and Willian. I wouldn't have played a fourth. I'm keeping Jorginho out of that lineup. I know, like, he's a good technical player, and every Chelsea fan's like, "Oh, we look like a different team without him." But it's also just like he's slow. You know, he's not my guy to break up play at CDM. He's my guy to keep tempo at CDM. He's not my guy.
He's Sarri's man. He's Sarri's man. He's not Lampard's man. He's Sarri's man.
Yeah.
And it's not his fault. He just happens to – he came here under a different coach, so I don't think we can necessarily blame him for, oh, he's not good enough. Well, he's not playing the system he was meant to do, and even when he was here, he was doing okay, but I wouldn't have said he was one of the best defensive mids in the Prem. I think he was just a defensive mid in the Prem. But, okay, Manav, what do you think? Do you think Lampard's to blame, the players, or both?
I wouldn't say Lampard is to blame right now because, like, the team he has, I mean, Chelsea is not at a great point right now, and he still carried them to a Champions League position.
Well, are they in a Champions League position right now? I thought they lost.
Yeah.
Oh, they're still there. Okay, I think. Oh, yeah, they're just getting closer and closer to dropping it. But okay, so you say the players.
Yeah, and to be honest, we expected them to finish at a Europa position with the squad they have right now. So, I think it was a bad choice making Jorginho play CDM, but Jorginho is a CDM, but he can't be as the same guy like Conte is, like being everywhere at the same time.
He ain't gonna break up play for you.
Yeah,
he won't. He's gonna keep tempo and he's gonna pass the ball around, which is cool. But when you're playing in the Premier League, you need that player, that enforcer who's gonna break up that play. You do. You need someone who's big, who's mean, who's gonna get stuck into tackles, who's gonna win the ball back, who's gonna be at your heels every single time. You know, he's not your Fernandinho. He's not your N'Golo Kante. You know, you need someone that's gonna break up play. Chelsea, they only have that with Kante, and when Kante's injured, they don't have anyone. So I think Lampard missed a trick by not playing three at the back against Sheffield United. Just match them man for man, because you know Sheffield United is going to work hard, and you know they're going to find gaps, and you know that their fullbacks are going to get really high, their wingbacks are going to get ridiculously high. Just match them man for man. Like Reece James could easily keep an eye on Ender Stevens and cause him problems on his end as well, but he didn't do that. You know, he played the same formation. He trusted Jorginho at CDM, but that midfield three of Sheffield United work hard. They will overrun you. They're physical. They're aggressive. They're gonna run at you.
Sheffield United this season, nobody expected them to do so good.
They're very physical. You know, they're physically built for the Premier League. They're very fit. You know, even their centre backs are running. You know, like 5-minute miles. You know, like they are ridiculously fit. They came into this division ready.
This is the best time, I think, for the lower teams to be challenging the top teams because none of the top teams are really as strong defensively as they used to be. I mean, you could go at Arsenal's defense. You can go at Chelsea's defense. You can go at Spurs' defense. You can even go at United's defense. It's not solid. It's not completely solid. You can still go at it. They have parts that are really good, but you can still go at it. You can go at City's defense. You can even go at Liverpool's defense, and they're the best defense in the league. No one is safe. No one is safe. This is what they say in Atlanta. This is like Robin season. Like anyone can get got. Anyone can get got, really. And I think Sheffield, I'll take nothing away from them. They're still playing great football. You know, it's great achievement from what they're doing. But, I mean, if someone says, oh, my goodness, they're just so amazing. Are they so amazing, or is everyone just so much shit? You know, if you balance it out, it kind of just, it levels each other out a little bit. I mean,
a lot of what happened in that Chelsea match against Sheffield United was a lot of defensive errors from Chelsea. Again, it goes back to their weak defense. Now, chat on and on about the formation that Lampard played, that's not going to make a difference because you have the defense that you have and you have the players that you have. You know, he's doing what he can with the players that he has. Personally, I think right now Chelsea are signing too many forward players and they need to work on that defense. They do. Like, they've signed Werner, they've signed...
And I'll get to you in that, but we're going to ask that one person you go, one person you get.
Yeah.
Manav, what did you say, Manav, about the you said it was mainly players that you would blame for that?
Yeah, I would say it's mainly the players right now because, like, Christensen is supposed to do good and he's not. And of course, we had expectations from Zuma as well. And, like, the people he's making play as his fullbacks, like Azpilicueta is the only good one there. Reece James is developing. There should be, like, Marcos Alonso should be there, but he's, like, super inconsistent. Kante is injured, so we can't really blame him for anything. Jorginho is not really the type to replace Kante.
Right. Okay. So you blame the players. Hassan, I feel like I already know what your answer is, but Hassan, what do you think? You think it's Lampard, players, or a combination of both? Look at Scott pressed up against the screen.
I'm waiting, bro. I'm waiting for Hassan, bro. He's gonna roast every London club here. Trust.
I can't hear him.
Yeah, I can't hear him either. We can't hear you.
No audio, Hassan. Turn those AirPods on.
Can't hear you, bro.
No.
Alright. Turn those AirPods on, man. Turn them on. Oh my goodness.
His video's not working.
We apologize for our technical difficulties. Hassan is just
he's having an interesting evening with his broadband.
You can't blame him, guys. He's just come back from a defeat of today's North London derby. He's not exactly in the best state of mind. Take it with a grain of salt. Can you hear? You can hear us, but
you hear us either.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Yeah. I hear you now. Yep.
Hi. It's like it's the combination of Lampard, the players. You can blame the tactic, but he's like a young manager, and he's gonna go through like ups and downs. Like today, Arteta, we got two defensive errors. They scored a goal, we lost, but we played a great game. Are you gonna blame Arteta?
We'll get to that, sir. Don't worry. We'll get to that. That's definitely gonna be coming up soon enough.
So it's like it's the players, Lampard. It's the combination, and it's like, and not every team gets to be Sheffield away as well.
Okay. That's interesting. I would to be fair, I'm kind of I agree with Scott and Hassan. I think Lampard actually could have changed the tactics, but to be completely fair to him about it, if he changed the tactics, the system, we don't know what kind of effect it would have had. They could have lost by a bigger scoreline because if they changed the formation and stuff like that, it could have been 5-0. It's just one of those you don't know. You just really don't know what could happen. I know, like, if it was me and Conte got injured, I would have switched up the formation and stuff like that. I know I would have done it. But obviously, I'm not there to be making that decision. I think the players are definitely to blame because Christensen is not a defender, man. He's not a center back. He's not a Premier League center back. He is not Premier League level center back. And if he is watching this, if his kids, his wife, himself, if anyone related to him is watching this, please send this directly to him. Let him know, nigga, you are not good enough for Premier League. Please step out, sir.
This guy's getting his hopes way too high. Let's get
bro. He's stepping out way too much. He was getting. I can't even believe. This is the moment. I think one of the moments I knew that he wasn't a good center back. I think was when Martial jumped over him in like the FA Cup and just went a header. And I'm like, that was like one of Martial's first times really playing striker in a minute. So the inconsistent Martial scored a header on you, and that man doesn't really jump. That man who just keeps the ball at his feet, and he scores. Christensen's not a defensive. He's not a center back, and I think people need to realize that Premier League, there are such thing as Premier League center backs. It's not a myth. There are Premier League center backs. There are people who are built for the Premier League. City had Company, who was Premier League built. You know, eventually he ended up Premier League built center back. Man United, do I even need to say the names? You've had pretty much too many to count.
Vidic, Rio, you know.
So many. Arsenal, you had Sol Campbell, you had Torre, you had oh my goodness, who's the Arsenal captain? Tony Adams, one of the greatest center backs ever in the Premier League.
Bola.
I mean, and then Chelsea, Terry. I mean, I guess I can say Cahill, but nah, not really. But I'll say John Terry. But that's the thing. I think if you're a Premier League center back, it's not, oh, well, he can pass the ball. Nigga, no, I don't care if you can pass the ball. Can you win that header? And he can't. So I don't know how he makes into Lampard's side. And if that's another flaw, in my opinion, I think he shouldn't be choosing it. And I know Rudiger has a mistake in him, but Christensen has more. He does. Unless Christensen is playing that through ball, like across the pitch to land at Pulisic's chest so he can hit a volley, then I don't really see too much of a use for him. For me, Christensen is like a younger David Luiz.
I think he could play CDM and be okay.
Yeah,
Dude,
that would be.
I honestly think with his technical ability, because he's got a good technical ability, I think he'll be fine there. I think physically he's not as good as Rudiger, and he's not as good as Zuma, but that's okay. If he can come in and do a shift to CDM, breaking up play, picking up the loose ball and just passing it off, that's okay. You know, because I think physically he's better than Jorginho. Technically he's decent, better than the best, would be better. Not better than Jorginho, but technically I think he would be a good CDM rather than a center back.
No, I believe that too. That's a good shout.
Yeah.
That's one of the things I very much think. I'm not saying he's a bad player. I just think that if you are going to win a title, you cannot have Christensen in your back line. That's just not it. And if you are expecting to get top 4, he cannot be in your back line. He's not the one of the 4 who are going to put you in the top 4. He's just not. He's not it. As a defensive mid, I would want to see him. I want to see him do it. I really want to see him do that. But no, I just don't see him. I don't rate him and stuff in that regard as a center back. But if let's just go ahead and jump into the Chelsea, get one out, get one in. Scott, go ahead and start us off. Who do you think should go? Who do you think should stay? Or if you had to choose.
So I always do this. I always just have a think, but there are quite a few that I could get rid of from Chelsea, honestly. If I'm going to pick one, I'd get rid of Marcus Alonso. I would. I think if Chelsea need to focus on that defense. They have a lot of offensive players coming in that are going to strengthen their team. That's going to be okay. If I'm being realistic, I'm selling Marcus Alonso. He's getting older. He's inconsistent. He wasn't the same player he was 2 seasons ago under Conte, when he was scoring goals, every other week and getting assists and stuff. And he had one of the best seasons when Chelsea won the title.
He was in the best system for him. He was in the best system.
Yeah, but I don't think playing left back benefits him. He needs to be playing left wing back. I think I would send him out. And if I'm getting a left back, I'm bringing in a left back. I'm bringing in Tagliafico. I think someone like him who's
Nicolas Tagliafico.
Yeah.
Really?
Yes.
That's the worse answer than Benzema.
No. No, there's a different... I mean, nah. Tagliafico's a good left back. He's good. He's won the Eredivisie with Ajax. He's played.
Ajax always wins the Eredivisie.
Yeah.
Feyenoord's
won it as well. Feyenoord's won it as well.
May I remind you what happened to Memphis Depay?
Different
An
position.
Eredivisie top-class player who came to the Prem.
Different position. Also, Tagliafico has experience in the Champions League. And he's
It's
got experience. He's still young as well. He's what, 25,
Would you say
26?
Tagliafico is one of the best defensive players? Is he one of the best defensive left backs? Or is he more attacking?
I'd say
I've seen him more attacking than anything.
I'd see him more attacking. I think he's good at
Pope is young, even Lingard is young.
I think he's good. Like, he's good going both ways. I'm just being realistic, though. I'll be honest. Like, if Leicester are asking for, like, what, 50, 60 mil for Ben Chilwell, I ain't going to pay that.
No, that's
no way.
Chilwell's-
I'm not going to pay that. So if I'm being Chelsea, I'm being realistic. I'm spending a lot of money on Werner. I'm spending money on Ziyech. You know, I want to get someone who can do a job at left back, someone who's played in the Champions League before, who can bring that experience, who's, you know, younger than Marcos Alonso. I'll bring in Tagliafico. My other option would have been Jamal Lewis, but, you know, he just got relegated with Norwich. I know he's young, but he's not really Premier League proven because he just got relegated. I'm bringing in someone who is, you know, proven on the European stage, you know, who starts for Argentina. You know, I'm bringing someone with that
Okay, wait,
experience.
hold on. Okay, the Argentina part, I can let you slide with that. It's Argentina, pretty much. I mean, who else was going to play left back, really? And their defense is nothing to shout about. Argentina has probably one of the worst defenses for a top national side. They truthfully do. But I'm not saying he's not a bad player by any means. Tagliafico is a great player, and that's not a bad shout. It's not the shout I would give, but I can respect it. I can hear you on that.
Yeah,
I can hear you on that.
Like, because, like, Ben Chilwell, he's going to cost a lot of money. It's like, I don't want to pay that. You know? Like, I know he's young, I know he's English, but it's just like, you need to be smart with your money if you're Chelsea. You're spending a lot of players. You're spending a lot of money on offensive players. You need to beef up that defense. First step would be getting rid of aging players like Marcos Alonso, bringing in a younger left back who's experienced as well in Tagliafico.
Okay.
That's just my opinion. And I think he could ball out in the Premier League.
Okay.
I do.
So Alonso out, Tagliafico in.
Yeah.
Manav, who's yours? Who's your two?
So I think many people saw this answer coming. Even though Christensen is young, I don't think he has a future in the Premier League at all. If I'm going to be completely honest, Andreas Christensen.
Oh, okay, yeah, that's a good shout.
So, they definitely need a center back, and they need a good center back. So, the person I would like to bring in to replace him is Ozan Kabak.
I don't know who that is, but I'll certainly, Google him.
He's a great center back for Schalke right now, and Turkish player, and he's been linked to many teams this transfer window.
So you want to replace a Bundesliga player with another Bundesliga player?
But he's worth it. He's gonna be a pretty lead guy.
Arsenal said the same thing about Kolasinac.
I don't think.
I'm sorry, Manav. I disagree with that. I'm getting a Premier League proven centre back. You need a guy.
If you're getting someone
who's going to be a rook.
If you're getting someone for the Premier League from the Bundesliga, I think you should be getting someone who is the best in the Bundesliga. Not like, he has.
I mean, I'm thinking it at a standpoint of if they have money right now or not. Like, because I want to be realistic with this transfer. And Kabak is going to be really good in the Premier League. And if that guy can be lethal for a team like Schalke, if he comes for Chelsea and he has the support, he's going to be total world class for sure.
Okay. Well, if you can say that guy's name, I guess Scott can say Tagliafico. So you both have said some interesting characters that I need to watch. Definitely, I need to watch more because I haven't watched your guy Manav, and I've seen your guy Scott, but not enough to give him a shot like that. But to be fair, there's not really a lot of left backs in the world right now that you could say are great. Like, not really a lot. Not defensively, more offensively than anything. But that's a good shout, Manav. I'll definitely check it out.
I would go with that guy also because like his stats are also not how bad this season. He has like 4 yellow cards, so in like 15 appearances, so that guy has balls.
Okay, we'll see. We'll see. Hassan, I know, Scott. What's your one?
I'm just saying, like, is he gonna make a difference in that Chelsea backline first season coming in?
Or is
Would
he
he?
like a young talent who needs to develop? Because that's not what Chelsea
Yeah,
need. They
because
need.
they need someone right now. They need someone who can come in and make a difference. They need, like, if I'm talking like a Premier League centre back, I'm talking someone like Lewis Dunk. I'm
I
talking
mean,
someone like
I would
James
stand behind
Tarkowski.
this guy. I think he will definitely make a really big difference for Chelsea right now. This guy's capable.
Okay, well, Scott, you go ahead and YouTube that. I'm sure you're already doing it. You already. There you go. Hassan, for Chelsea, who do you think they should let go, and who do you think they should be bringing in?
And also, like, sorry, Hassan, not to interrupt you, but when was Christensen Bundesliga centre back?
What year?
He was always at Chelsea. He was just loaned out to Mönchengladbach. He was never bought from Germany to here.
Oh, my fault.
Yeah.
Hassan, what were you saying?
So if they're trying to contend for the title next season, I really think they should let go of Christensen and Zuma, both center backs. They got
Zuma
and Zuma.
Nigga,
He's
you
not
had
good
me
enough
on
for
one, but then you
Hey, I thought we were going for one.
you gotta go for one.
Players I have like a whole list.
I guess Christensen then.
My boy.
I mean, he's technically good, but he's not good enough defensively. So,
Okay.
the player they should bring, they really need a left back because both Alonso and Emerson are really poor. So, Ben Chilwell, I don't know. I mean, he's really good going forward.
It would have been my first choice as well, but looking at the money, like Leicester have already said he's going to be 50, 60 mil, and it's like I'm trying to save money and invest in the rest of my defense, which is why I said Tagliafico. But I'd say Ben Chilwell as well.
If we're being unrealistic here, they should sign Matas Delic.
Okay, so Ben Chilwell for you, Hassan, bring in, and not convincingly. I can tell that I was like the only name that you really. There's not really many other left backs people really know, so that's understandable. But and then you would let go of Christensen. Boy, hating on Zuma, but that's okay. That's okay. I got enough.
But
love.
you really think Zuma is good enough for Chelsea?
Yeah,
I think he could be. Yeah,
Yep.
I think he.
What do you think, Scott?
I think, look, Zuma, here's the thing. He does a job. He can do a job defensive. Like, here's the thing. As a centre-back, you don't need to be technical to be a good centre-back. You need to keep the ball out the back of the net to be a good centre-back. When I saw him the other day against Crystal Palace, Benteke had a one-on-one, and that man flew himself across the 18-yard box to make a block. You know? That shows commitment, you know? Like, that's ballsy, you know? He had to be certain he was going to win the ball, and he did. You know?
Yeah.
His size, you know, he's a big centre-back. Like, I honestly think he'll be okay. I do think he'll be okay. And also, he's not even in his late 20s yet, you know. He's still kind of getting into his prime.
I think he's like 23, 22.
I thought he was a little bit older, like 24. Anyway, he can still get better with time, but at the moment, he's okay at Chelsea. He's okay. I think
I saw him last season with Everton, and they conceded a lot of goals. Their backline was better than Chelsea on paper. They had Michael Keane, they had Uramina, they had Zuma. Look at that.
Like, I wouldn't rate Michael Keane too much. I mean, Michael
Keane is one season wonder.
Yeah, he's not really that good. He's just a Man United drop off. He's like that kid that you didn't want. He's just an orphan. He's truthfully like an orphan.
He's that kid you don't want who did good in one exam.
Yeah. He wasn't talented enough to appease the family, so Man United was just like, nah, let him go. But I see what you're saying, Hassan. I mean, I have seen Zuma when he's poor, but I know what I'm about to say is debatable. But if someone said, if I'm a United fan, if someone said, hey, you have to pay 80 mil for Maguire or 80 mil for Zuma, I would pay 80 mil for Zuma. That's just me.
I wouldn't pay 80 mil for either. I wouldn't pay 80 mil for either.
I wouldn't pay 80 mil for either, too.
That's cool, but you have two choices. If you have to choose between Maguire and Zuma, I'm not telling you to choose, but that's just my personal opinion. Because I see Maguire, and he's a great center back, but I think Zuma, he's just as good as he is in the air on his day, and he's faster than him, too. I mean, do you think Maguire's making that tackle that Zuma did against Scott, who was that? Who was that guy that
Crystal Palace, Benteke.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I just don't see that.
I mean, it's Benteke. He's probably going to miss it anyway.
Exactly. Like,
But that's not the point. The point here's the thing. Maguire was overpriced. Let's be honest. He was overpriced at 80 mil, but Man U needed a centre-back. So, of course, they're going to overpay. All right? No one is going to pay 80 mil for Zuma. All right? But
No, that's understandable.
He's also still developing as a player because he's still getting into his prime.
I just rate him a lot. I like him a lot. I know there's a lot of mistakes in him, but, I mean, if someone said you can get Zuma for free, that's a huge steal for me. I mean, I think he's better than Mustafi. I think he's better than David Luiz. I think he's better than Kolasinac.
Oh my god!
hey.
Anyone's better than Kolasinac.
Exactly. So why are you even hating his saying you need anyone you can get?
I'm not. I'm just saying he's not good enough for Chelsea. I'm not hating.
Okay.
He's good enough for Everton, but he's not good enough for Chelsea.
Okay. Well, if I was going to let one person go from Chelsea then, if I was going to let one person, it wouldn't be Christensen because I think he could actually be a defensive mid. I want to give that a try. I have never seen anyone give him that try defensive mid. I want to see that. It would be Jorginho. He does not have a place in this squad anymore. Kovacic.
Oh my god!
I would take Jorginho.
Seriously?
I would take him out. Yeah.
All right, I'm out. Bye.
It's okay. Y'all can do it. He doesn't win the ball. You would say he dictates tempo, right?
Yeah.
Kovacic does that too.
I mean, but he's.
What's the difference between him and Kovacic?
Kovacic is a baller.
Kovacic plays more. He plays more forward. He can
Kovacic more deep.
But you can't have Jorginho back, right? Because Jorginho at defensive mid means that you are defensively vulnerable. That doesn't matter who you have at the center back because your defensive mid cannot do anything defensively wise. So that means if you play Jorginho higher up, that means that he's going to have to use a different set of abilities, a skill set, which he does not have. Kovacic does have. I'm not saying Jorginho is a bad player. I just don't think he is right for what Lampard's trying to do.
I don't think he's right for the Premier League. He's right for He's right for Spain. He's right for the Liga when it's all like possession and tiki taka, and he's right for Italy with slow build up and that. But it's not like Premier League.
Now, if you're looking for a Busquets replacement, I would have liked to see Jorginho at Barca.
Defensive mid, he's not been doing pretty bad for Chelsea this season. I mean, he's been pretty great. So I don't know why would you want to remove Jorginho.
Because he's been bad. He's not been good enough for me.
He's barely played. Let's be honest. He started the season at CDM, got taken out, didn't play a lot of times. Kante moved back into CDM and solidified that role again. When Lampard was trying to do this thing with Kante playing kind of right center mid and going back and forth, it was cool for a while. But Chelsea, they did okay, and then
when they were passing the ball, it was okay. Yeah. When you were passing it, he looks great. Jorginho's looking great. But if you're saying, hey, you know what? Pepe's running at you. Go tell Jorginho to guard him, to stop him. You must be playing. Go tell Kante to stop him.
Defender.
Go tell Kante to stop him. I'll believe in that
So
a little
Kante
bit more.
is more like a defender.
But that's the thing. I would trust Kante more as a defensive mid. Key word, defensive. Jorginho's not a defensive mid. He's just a midfielder who can pass the ball, and that's it.
Jorginho is a proper defensive mid. I don't know why you're getting on Jorginho.
I don't think he's a bad player. I just think that he's not a Premier. You're not going to win a title with him.
He's
not Premier League proven.
Bro, you won the title. He already won titles.
There's no defining feature that Jorginho gives you at defensive mid. He's not the pacey defensive mid. He's not the one that can tackle really well. He's not big, he's not strong. He can keep tempo of the ball. That's it.
He's someone
that doesn't work in the Premier League. That doesn't work here.
And the proof of the pudding is who's it? Fernandinho. He's someone who could pass the ball too in his prime, but he could also win the ball. Fabinho
he tackles all the time, yeah.
He could still win the ball. I mean, Premier League, you can't just be one type of player. You have to be able to do multiple things very well. It's why it's the Premier League. You are it's the pinnacle. You need to be able to do everything. Jorginho just simply can't do that. If Kovacic wasn't there, then I would maybe say he can stay, but he wouldn't start. But Kovacic is there, and that man is smooth as a motherfucker on the ball, man. That man just goes through people. That man's like butter. Just going
So
through.
you're saying Kovacic can play the CDM role?
No, never said that. But I think that what he offers is the same thing kind of Jorginho offers, and actually a little bit more. Kovacic dictates the tempo for Chelsea a lot of times. If you see him play, you guys see it where Kovacic will just glide around. He's like who's that team I saw today? He's like Ceballos for Arsenal. You see how Ceballos today was bossing the midfield?
He's cool. Yeah, he is.
Yeah, but that's what Kovacic does. And Jorginho is like, he's someone who can't do exactly that because he has to stay. He can't do that. All he can do is stay behind. I wouldn't mind that if he could win the fucking ball, but he can't do that because he's not going to win the ball in the air because he's not going to do it. He's not good enough. He's not going to win the ball in a tackle-wise because this is the Premier League and people who are coming at you ain't no chumps. If Salah's coming at you, Salah's breaking your ankles, Jorginho. If Mane is coming at you, Mane is breaking your ankles. Sane, Mahrez, Sterling, David Silva, Phil Foden, they're just breaking your ankles. Pepe, even you just name them up. They're going to be breaking their ankles. I would trust Casemiro as a defensive mid before I trust Jorginho.
Technically, I think
Casemiro's elite.
Casemiro is built for the Premier League. I would take him. That is a good shout.
I'll be honest. I think technically, Jorginho is a very good player.
Yes.
He's a very, very good player. He can pass the ball. He's got a great first touch, great passing, all that. Physically, he's not built for the Premier League. And in the Premier League, you need to have either one of each or you need to have one person that's technical and physical, like Fabinho, like Rodri, like Matic, someone like that.
Yeah.
You need to have someone like that. Like you look at Arsenal, you have Ceballos. He's going to be the technician. He's going to be technical. He's going to be making those passes and stuff. You got Xhaka. He's going to be breaking up the play. Even if he gives away fouls, it doesn't matter. He can make tactical fouls. He can do that stuff. But he's more of the rock. He brings the physicality. Chelsea don't have that. They have a very special player in Kante who can play CDM, who's built, he's very strong and he can push people off the ball even though, he's small. He's very quick though and very technical. He's got everything to make him the perfect CDM. But then they just don't have anyone else. When Kante's injured, Chelsea don't have anyone else to kind of fill that role, which is why Jorginho isn't, he's not the player that they need filling that role in.
If Chelsea built the team around Jorginho, it would be different, but they don't. They will never do that. So if you're not going to build the team around a player like that, then you might as well get rid of him because he's not the person you bring on the pitch when it's 2-2 and you need or when it's 3-2 and you need to hold a lead. He's not the person you bring on for that. And if you're trying to look to we need to score more goals, he's not the person you bring on for that. He's not really going to do that. I mean, he's great with long-range passing ability. Technically, like Scott said, he's really good. But this is the Premier League, and you need it all. We don't say De Bruyne is world-class because he can just pass the ball. No, he can fire a cannon. He can go back and track back. He can do all this kind of mess. And you don't say Henderson. I'll say Henderson. It's like Henderson. Henderson is not just one thing. He is multiple things, but he's not astounding at multiple things. He's just good enough to where he's a
great athlete.
Yeah, that's really it.
He's got a tank, and he can run forever, and that is what it suits Liverpool's system.
I would take Henderson over Jorginho as a player because Henderson can at least offer a little bit more going forward. Now, if you're saying who am I going to build a team around, that's a different conversation. But Jorginho, he's just not built for the Premier League. And honestly, City lucked out when they didn't get him. I would have gotten Rodri instead of Jorginho because Jorginho, we've seen City's defense. Now, imagine Rodri when he's 5'8"? How tall is Jorginho? 5 foot.
I thought it was like 6 foot. I thought it was like 5'11", 6 foot.
Oh, my bad. He's 6 foot, but he still can't jump for shit. That's my bad. Can't head for shit. And you got their defense being mauled. Liverpool would maul them with Jorginho in the back. Already doing it. They already do it pretty much. All the other teams already do it, but I think Jorginho should be playing, go back to Serie A or go to the Spanish league. But he's not Premier League built. He will never succeed here unless a team is built around him or they play a specific style to his needs. If I was going to bring that one person in for Chelsea, did I already say who it was? Or I never said it?
I can't remember.
Oh, okay. Who do y'all need? Left back? I honestly, Kepa just makes me piss a little. I'm not gonna lie, not in a good way, like in a very bad way. Like I'm not comfortable with Kepa at all as my keeper. If I was gonna bring one person in, left back, nah, that person isn't logical. It isn't realistic. If I was gonna bring in a center back, Milinkovic. You need it. I get Milinkovic. I truthfully would. He's Premier League built. When you get a center back from the Serie A, you actually probably got a good center back. Serie A is just all about defending, really. I mean, you can't tell me it's not. Look at
breed
Bonici.
Defenders.
Yeah, Bonici.
They breed defenders, and
it's unbelievable. That's why I looked with to Juve. He said he wanted to. He's not going to get any better experience defending, other than in Serie A. That's where you only defend. Premier League is where everything happens. That's where shit. That's where shit happens. Really, is everything pops off. Let's go ahead and go to City. Here's a question I want to ask. And I know Zav would want to be on here when I ask this. If Sterling did not have KDB, would he be world class at City?
Oh, yeah.
Like scoring the same amount of goals and stuff like that. Do you think he would be world class like this? Could he carry a team? That's what I mean. Yeah.
I think so.
Okay.
I do. I trust in Sterling because he's improved a lot as a player. And even when Manchester City didn't have, KDB, like Sterling was still performing well. I think because Sterling he signed for Man City before Man City got KDB. So I've seen a lot from Sterling, and he's good. He's a really good player. He is world class, probably one of the best wingers in the world, if I'm being honest. And I think without KDB, he'd still be world class,
Okay. Hassan, what do you think?
Yeah. As much as KDB been good for them past seasons, they can still do. Like if you see their squad, it's deep. You can play Gundogan in his role. You can play Silva in his role. David Silva. You can play Bernardo Silva in his role. It would just be the same, I think. They're just too good. Okay,
so he's still world class without KDB for you.
Don't get me wrong, he's pretty nasty, but he's in a team where there are a lot of really good players around.
Creative players.
Wait. Are you saying Sterling without KDB is world class? Is world class or is world class?
Yeah, he is world class without KDB.
Okay, Manav, what do you think? Do you think he's world class without KDB?
I probably would go for the same point. He came before KDB, and from the start, since he started out Liverpool when he was 17 years old, he was always destined for greatness. So the way he's developing constantly and the way he's improving year by year, pretty sure Sterling can still be really great without KDB in the nearby future if KDB does retire.
Okay. So all three you and good agree and all in agreement. I know I made the question about, if I'm being truthfully honest, I did see him at Liverpool before, and he was nasty. He was tearing people apart. He was very inconsistent. He would miss the silliest chances. And even at City, he still does that now sometimes. But I have seen the improvement. I do think he would be world class without KDB, if I'm being honest. But I do think that I think he's almost limited to what he can do as a winger because he's not really going to win the header. I mean, if we're talking about last game or how he won that header, but if y'all saw that header and stuff, that shit was kind of a joke. I mean, that's only because of the team he plays in. But if I'm being honest, he would be world class anywhere else, but he's just he makes it very difficult when he just messes up so many he's like Salah. You see him score 20 goals a season, but then you'll see him miss an open goal or something. Not open goal, but you see him mess up an easy chance. And I think that's what annoys me about Sterling the most. Like, he'll have 27 goals this season, but it's like, I watched you all season, man. You could have had 35. But I think my problem is that I'm thinking of Messi and Ronaldo, those two who never miss chances, who are, well, not never, but the most consistent footballers you've ever really seen. So I think that's my issue, is that I compare them to Sterling to them, and all these other wingers to them, when they shouldn't be compared. Maybe when I say world class, I think of Messi and Ronaldo, but they're not world class. They're above that, and I need to stop putting them in that. They're not in world class. They're legends. That's all they really are. But yeah, Sterling, that's a good shout. That's a good learning lesson for me. Zav, if you're watching this, fuck you, but you're right. Sterling is world class. He's in world class form right now. He's a good player to watch. If I can get his jersey, that would be great. But if I have to choose one City player, one jersey to get,
Otamendi, surely.
It'll be De Bruyne.
Otamendi, surely.
Otamendi.
Yeah, fuck Otamendi.
if Sane was still there, I would have wanted a Sane jersey. But if it was now, I want Aguero. Aguero is just if I put on a jersey that was Aguero, I just feel like I'm gonna score.
I want a Phil Foden jersey. Not gonna lie.
Ugly ass 47. Okay, I understand. That's a good shout anyway. I wonder what number he's gonna go to next season. I wonder if he's gonna keep 47.
23.
43.
23.
Oh, 23. I heard 40.
Yeah, playmaker number, innit?
If you guys could get rid of one player for City and keep one, and bring one in, who would it be? And you know what? You've passed the financial fair play thing, but you can't spend any more than 100 mil.
Can I go first?
Scott, go first real quick.
All right, Scott, go first.
I'm getting rid of. I mean, you know who I'm getting rid of. I'm getting rid of Otamendi.
I knew it. I was waiting. I was like, hey, he's about to say it before he's about to do it.
I don't want to violate my man like that, but yeah, Otamendi's past it. His legs just aren't there. He's just not got, he's just past it, to be honest. Like, when you have to stick, Fernandinho and then Rodri, you have to stick your CDM into centre-back over your actual centre-back. That's pretty bad. Eric Garcia is starting over Otamendi now, and Eric Garcia is 19 years old. So, he's definitely one for the future, but, I'm moving on Deadwood. I'm moving on Otamendi.
I always used to think, Otamendi's name, maybe it meant in Spanish, maybe it meant, no neck ass nigga, because he really has no neck. It's weird. I see him head a ball, and it's like, where are you generating the power? You have it's unbelievable. I don't know how he does it. I don't know how he wasn't sold prior, but it is what it is. But you're getting rid of Otamendi, and who are you bringing in, sir?
Well, if I can get him for 100 mil, I'm bringing in Koulibaly.
Wow.
That back two, that centre-back partnership of Koulibaly and Laporte would be different gravy in the Premier League. Honestly, it would be different. I honestly think that would shore up Man City's defence, and they could definitely go and challenge for a title next year. They looked really poor this season, and with everyone strengthening around them, Chelsea strengthening quite well, offensively. Manchester United looking good. You know, I said last podcast, I don't think that Man City will finish top 2, you know, and I honestly think they would be probably 4th place next
You know
year.
what's crazy though? What's crazy actually is that even though City are so defensively vulnerable, they're still like the best attack in the Premier League on their day. Like they're still like there's no team that can guard them if they're going at you offensively. I mean,
Yeah.
yes, there've been a couple times, but I mean,
They put
they're
4
still-
past Liverpool. They put 4 past the champions of England. So yeah, they are very good offensive wise. But if they're showing up the defense, Koulibaly, he'd be my number 1 like choice to bring in. He would.
okay.
If I can get him for 100 mil, because I honestly think he cost over 100 mil. But if I can get him for 100 mil, I'd get Koulibaly. If I couldn't get him, I'd get Skirina.
Okay. Otamendi, Koulibaly / Skriniar, but your main choice is Koulibaly. Asin, what do you think?
They should get rid of. You know who I'm getting rid of? Not Otamendi. It's John Stones, and I hope
That's a good shot. That's a good shot. That man needs to go. He's never been a defender. He's the same as Christensen to me.
He makes a lot of mistakes.
Remember when Pep was like, "Oh, he's a brave defender." I'm like, I think you're confusing brave with not. He's just not a defender. You know what he should be? He should try out defensive mid. Maybe try out that. Who you getting though, Hassan? Who you bringing in?
They just need a strong center back, so it has to be Koulibaly. Who else?
Okay.
Yeah.
Manav.
Need a strong center back.
All right.
Strong center back, Koulibaly.
I think you guys have been talking about the defense, but I would like the defense going to die out eventually. And Man City have some good defenders rising up the ranks. They have Eric Garcia right now, who's a good prospect in the world right now. Not half bad, but not good either. Can prove himself. Like how. Nah, I'm not gonna say Kovac again. Chill. I am going to get rid of Ilkay Gundogan.
What?
What? Nah.
Are you alright?
Oh.
Hey yo, the world stood still for like 5 seconds after he said that.
All right, I'm not kidding. I'm gonna get rid of Ilkay Gundogan.
Don't say you're bringing in Benzema. Please don't say that shit.
Gonna bring. So the reason I want to get rid of Ilkay Gundogan is I think that he's good, but he's not Premier League level, nor he is City level right now.
What?
He's not been playing that good. He's not getting enough minutes. His participation has been like really less. Gundogan has not been like what he used to be.
Do you see that bench? Of course you don't get minutes. That's like the best bench in the world. What you talking about? Okay, I'm sorry. I gotta try and.
And I think they need a future in the midfield section as well, because like the prime players are also gonna age soon, and David Silva is gonna leave. David Silva is gonna leave soon. Like he's pretty old right now.
You got Phil. You got Phil to fill that role.
You got Phil. But like, what about the central mids?
Centre mids. You got De Bruyne and you got Rodri. And Rodri's like what, 24? He's good.
He's more like a CDM.
Rodri, yeah, CDM. So he's good for like until he's got another like 7-10 years in him.
Yeah. So
and Gundogan.
And Gundogan is 29 right now, and he needs his prime time. He doesn't belong on the bench.
Oh my God.
I don't know. I think for a player like Gundogan, I think he's in the perfect place to be. Gundogan is a player who likes to pass the ball. I mean, he's really likes that kind of.
He's been playing decent at CDM when Rodri's been out injured. He's actually filled in and done quite well. The reason, some people, they see that he's not very like defensively. He's not a natural defensive like player, but he keeps things ticking. He does actually make like some good challenges and stuff, and also he's got pretty decent defenders behind him in Fernandinho and Eric Garcia. They're decent. I would say that. I think Fernandinho's been decent since he's been asked to play centre back. I actually do think he's been okay. But,
so in that respect, though, if and Scott, I gotta stick up for Manav on this point because I don't want to seem like a hypocrite. If we were willing to push that for Gundogan, and he's not the best defensively, really. I know he's been playing good, but it's like it's still the Premier League. Let's be honest. He's not gonna be able to do defensive mid for a long time without being, knocked down a couple times, ankles just being snatched. Jorginho is kind of the same thing, and it's the same situation. He's kind of like the same as Gundogan, and in reality, the only reason why, and I will stick up for you in that regard, Manav, in the way that he is the same as Jorginho in a way, kind of. The only difference I'll stick up for you, Scott, is that Gundogan is in a team that has a pattern of play that is specifically built for good players like Gundogan. So it's specifically, he's in the right place to be.
He can get away with it.
He can get away with it.
He can also get away with it because of the defenders behind him.
Especially if it's Koulibaly behind him. If it's Koulibaly behind him,
Laporte doesn't let anything happen in that defense. He doesn't. He's solid. Like if
Koulibaly's my defender, I'm taking a shit that day. I'll be a defensive mid on the toilet.
Like if you saw the Man City Liverpool game, Gundogan played CDM, and I think it was Laporte and it was Eric Garcia who were the centre backs, and nothing happened. Nothing happened offensive wise for Liverpool, and you could say that everyone defended really well. It was Laporte, it was Eric Garcia, it was Gundogan, but like like nothing happened.
But can he do it for 30 games, Scott? Can he do it for 30 games? Because Premier League season's 38?
Yeah, but that's why they brought in Rodri. I think Rodri, he's obviously going to take over, but he's had those injury problems. Gundogan usually was playing on like that right side, and then De Bruyne, he'd kind of just float in and like kind of play that free role last season. Now De Bruyne has more established himself in that right center mid role, kind of going back and forth and like creating stuff, everything. That left center mid role, like they've had a bunch of players occupy that. So I mean, anyone with a left foot at Man City occupies that role. And then when it comes to that CDM spot, they'd either have Rodri play there or they'd have Fernandinho play there. But with the amount of like injuries they've had to centre backs like Otamendi and John Stones, Pep said, look, Fernandinho, I need you to play centre back for this season. He said, cool. He goes to CDM. They don't have anyone else to play there. So they're going to chuck Gundogan in there. And Gundogan's going to adapt and he's going to be more defensive, which is what he's been doing. Yes, I admit he is very much so like Jorginho, but I think he's adapted to that CDM role better and the responsibilities that he's been given when others are injured.
Okay. Manav, okay. I'll agree with Scott to the point of, I don't know if he's adapted is the right word. I just think he is lucky enough to be in a team like that, to be having the right. He can get away with it. For me, he can get away with it. I don't know if you would say he's adapted to the Premier League. It's more so if the roles were reversed and Gundogan was at Chelsea as a defensive mid and Jorginho was at Chelsea, at City, my bad. I think it would be the same conversation. I wouldn't say that they've adapted. I would say it's more so they're lucky to be in that team that's the best at playing that kind of style. But it is a good shout. I wouldn't get rid of Gundogan. That's quite a shout that you're giving out, Manav. But who would you bring in?
So
I'm curious
about that. I would get rid of Gundogan, and I would like to bring in Declan Rice.
What? Let's see.
I don't know how I feel about that.
Declan Rice. You sure?
I don't.
How are you calling Declan Rice shit? That guy was nominated as one of the young players of the year last year.
Yeah, and Henderson's being nominated as the PFA player of the season.
Exactly.
The guy plays for West Ham. If he gets into a good team, bro, he is good. He's made even appearances for England. At 21, if you have 7 appearances for England, you're actually a good player.
Yeah, but circumstances have to play a part. I don't know if that's a bad signing or a good signing, but it's a shout. It's a good shout. I'll say that. It's a good shout. It makes me think.
I'm really sick of the media hyping up this young England players without doing anything really. Oh,
I think Declan Rice could be maybe a good center back, but I don't think he'll. I don't know what he'll exactly be, but
and he's exactly what City needs right now. Center
The
back and
CDM.
defensive mid, he can play both, and
Man City need Casemiro. I thought you were going to say him.
I thought you were
Man
going to say
City,
him too.
Man City need Dennis Zakaria. You know,
no,
someone like
Zakaria
that.
wouldn't have a minute at the
Zakaria is a dog. He's 6'3" and he can like push anyone off the ball.
He won't
Trust
last a
me.
minute in the Prem. Trust me.
Nah. I disagree with that. You look at him, man. He's massive. He's built like Musa Sissoko. He is. He's just a bigger Musa Sissoko.
Massive is a thing. Akin Fenwa should be playing in the Prem.
No, I'm saying he's built like Musa Sissoko. And Musa Sissoko balls out. He balls out in the Premier League at Tottenham Hotspur's breaking up play. Zakaria would do the same thing. Absolutely.
I mean, Declan Rice would solve both the centre back and the defensive mid problem for City in a jiffy.
That is
6'1".
That's quite a statement, man. I hope y'all get it. Hey, people in the comments, get at this boy right here. Get at Sergio Ramos fanboy right here. Get at him. Get at him. Hey, tag false 9 and Benzema. Go ahead and do that mess for real. Tag
Benzema to Liverpool. Benzema to Liverpool.
Benzema to Liverpool.
Oh man, see, this is why I love doing this because I hear so many different opinions. And Manav, your opinions get at me so much. It's like
They're true. No matter how much you hate it, they make so much sense.
I'm not going to disagree with your logic entirely, but I'm going to say it's a good shout. It's a good shout. I'm not going to – if they got him, I wouldn't say, oh, they wasted some money. I would just say, let's see. Let's see. If I was going to get rid of one player, Otamendi. He can't play anywhere. And John Stones, at least he can probably come and play defensive mid, but I wouldn't have him as center back ever again. I would never have him as center back again. But if I was going to get, and these are two people I would want to get. I don't know who to pick from right now, but I know these are two good shouts. I would either get Varane or I would get Partey.
Thomas
Partey.
That's our player.
Because Partey, actually, I've seen him this season in Atletico. He's not just winning the ball like he used to before. He's actually like playmaking. He's spraying the ball across the. I would be afraid of going up against him if he's a defensive mid. And not only that, he can play center mid as well. He can shoot from distance. He's built for Premier League. Let's be honest. He's built for Premier League. And then there's Varane, who is the quickest center back in the world. So really, if you kick a ball and Sterling's trying to run and chase after it, and City's already playing a high line, they run after him. Varane's catching him. And then you have Laporte, too, who's actually pretty quick. I mean, I know Koulibaly is a good shout. If they get Koulibaly, that's not a loss. That's a win.
And
but if they got
Varane would be a good connection because both of them will play for France too. So that's chemistry right there.
Yeah, that's chemistry. That's chemistry right there.
It's a green link, you get me? Green link. Like,
it's a green link.
And they get Digne. And you get Digne. Ultimate team is sorted, man.
If I had to choose one, it would be Varane because if you play such a high line, I think the biggest thing about City is that when they get counterattacked, they don't have any not fullbacks. They don't have any defenders besides Walker, who's quick enough to get back to really win the ball. I mean, besides you could say Laporte, but even he's not enough. I mean, I'm sure Laporte's he's come off the field like, I can't believe I just played next to Otamendi and fucking Mendy. These niggas are just losing the ball and shit. Remember when Mendy lost the ball and Traore won it, like bodied him, and then he scored? Like he passed the ball. That was that moment where Laporte was looking at him like, this nigga just did. Oh, God. Like, I'm sure
French team training is going to be so fun. Going to the French team training, you have like Laporte just staying away from Ferland Mendy. He's like, hey, yo, Digne, come here, man. Can't deal with this, man.
I mean, that's some pace.
That ain't my left back. He's thinking, that ain't my left back, man.
But That's my pace. I mean, I don't know what y'all think, but I think that's a good shout. If you could get Kelly Koulibaly, I think you should get Varane. And I think he's worth 100 mil.
Bro, Varane is worth more than 100 mil. Real Madrid, no way in hell would sell him for less than like 150.
Cool.
Varane, I'd say, is probably the most underrated centre back. And like, look at how much he's won already, and he's what, 26? Like 20. He's young, late 20s.
I think he could be Premier League proven. I think he's Premier League built too, because he's what, 6'3"?
Yep.
He's a big boy. Yeah.
He's a big kid. He's a big guy, and I'd say he's still the fastest center back in the world. And for him, like whenever City would go up against Liverpool, I'm tired of seeing like the center back competition. There would be no competition really. But if it was Varane and Laporte versus Van Dijk and Gomez, that's interesting. I would like to see that. Because I know Kyle Walker is tired of running his ass back because no one else got no pace. That's what got to be born for him too. But those are my two. Those I would get rid of
Walker has
Otamendi.
no one to be jealous of right now because Sané left for Bayern Munich.
What's up?
What?
Kyle Walker and Leroy Sané always had the discussion of who was the fastest in the Man City thing, and they always had an ego about it.
Yeah.
I think it was kind of over when Dembele dusted him when it was France against England. I think any argument that he tried to have, Sané could just say, but I never got dusted by Dembele, and he did. He really did get dusted.
But he was dusted by Dembele.
It wasn't even like, it was like a small. Nah, it was a good. You could have given that man a head start. I actually think he did get a head start. Didn't he get a head start actually? Yeah, he may have. But let's go ahead and talk about this one team. I'm sorry, Hassan, but we just gotta get at them. We gotta get at them.
My team.
Arsenal. My God. Is it Arteta? Is Arteta to blame? The players to blame, or is it a combination of both for today's?
Let me start it off. Everyone is to blame. Even the fans are to blame. Are you serious? Wenger out? Like seriously, you guys are idiots.
Are you seriously saying Wenger?
My man said Wenger.
Why are you saying Wenger?
Sorry, Arsene Wenger.
I was about to say, I'm like, Scott, I know you heard this too. I know y'all been hearing Wenger too.
I said Wenger.
Why did you bring up Wenger? That was 2
I
years
would bring
ago,
up Wenger. If he was still the manager, at least he would have been stable.
Okay, Hassan, I'm actually going to let you start this off. I'm actually going to let you because I know you guys should have won. I was watching the game. Y'all really should have. That was the worst Spurs performance I've ever seen. Not worst Spurs team, but worst Spurs performance I've ever seen in the derby.
That Spurs team after the lockdown, they were consistently shit. And we lost to that. The thing is, tactically, we were set up right. The 5 defense, 2 midfielders, and 3 up top. We were tactically right. But the problem is we have schoolboy defenders, bro. It's like what are you doing? Like the second goal. Why is Kieran Tierney defending Toby Aldo? Like, really? What was Mustafi doing? What was David Luiz doing? The first goal. What was Kalas? It was a simple pass, a 10-yard pass. You cannot really pass the ball.
Well, he didn't want to use his
it was on his weak foot.
Yeah, he didn't want to use his right foot.
He don't have a right. That man don't have a right.
You play for Arsenal. You play for Arsenal Football Club. Really, weak foot? You cannot pass a 10-yard ball with your right. Like, come on, Scott. This is disappointing, really. It's just that defense.
I'm disappointed. I feel bad. Like,
y'all really well.
Arsenal supporters are on suicide watch right now, and it's okay. But it was defensive errors that led to the outcome of today's match.
I mean, why did you have Tierney marking Alderweireld? That made no sense. And you know what's funny? Before the corner even happened, like as soon as they won the corner, I knew Spurs was going to score. I felt like it. I was like, they're probably going to score from here. And you know what? You know who really didn't deserve it? Martinez. Martinez did not deserve those 2 goals. I mean, if he was a regular, like if his contract said starter, I bet he would go up to Kolasinac and be like, "Hey, you and me after the game, 3:00. We about to go up and meet up. We about to box."
Oh God,
It's got to.
I think that's Lacazette. Right after he scored that banger, Kolasinac doing that. If I was Lacazette, I'm beating the fuck out of that guy. Straight up. But right after you do that, really?
Oh man, yeah. Me and my brother, we were watching it, and as soon as we saw Lacazette's goal, we were like, "Ooh, that's clean and stuff." And as soon as he saw the next one, I just sat there, just like with a blank expression, and my brother was just on the ground laughing. He was like, "I can't believe it was so quick." I'm like, I couldn't do it. But you don't blame Arteta, not even a little bit.
Not a little bit.
No, I
He
do.
did all the right.
I do.
Do you blame him for the Pepe Scott?
I blame him. Nah, this is what I blame him for. You bring on Bukayo Saka, someone who has gotten, what, the 3rd most assists in the Premier League this year. You give him 5 minutes at right wing, and then you completely change the system and put him at left back. What was the point of bringing him on in the first place? What's Reece Nelson going to do? What's, Joe Willock going to do? They haven't done anything, all right? You have Bukayo Saka actually doing stuff for your team at right wing, and you don't give him more than 5 minutes in that position. That's terrible. And at that time, it was 1-1.
Oh, yeah.
And why didn't you give him more minutes there? He can create something. He's different. He can go at Ben Davies.
I'm not gonna lie. Pepe had some moments. He was doing some dirty shit. He almost got 1 goal. There were a couple of times, like at the beginning of the game, Pepe was like looking sloppy. Like he almost gave away a goal. Like he almost did give away a goal. But if I was gonna choose who I was gonna play, it would have been Saka, just because he would have offered nearly the same thing as Pepe would have. Because I mean, come on, it's Alderweireld or Ben Davies versus Saka. It's over. I mean, he's just running through him. I just didn't understand. I blame Arteta maybe for a little bit for his substitutions, but I blame. See, this is why I kind of don't understand the one thing. There should be a leadership on the defense. There should be a leader in that defense, and I'm struggling to wonder who it is. Who is that leader? Because someone should have told someone. If I was the leader of the defense, I would have said, "Tierney, get your small porcupine little ass away from Alderweireld." He should never have been marking him. That should have never have happened.
Why doesn't anyone take responsibility at Arsenal? Why doesn't Kolasinac or Mustafi be like, "Yo, I'm gonna mark him. I've got him." You know, they don't want that. Here's the thing: I'm a centre back. I'm 6 foot tall. I'll go ahead and mark someone around my height. I'll be like, okay, I got him. You know, Tierney, he's 6 foot tall, and he's gonna go, and he's gonna go mark Alderweireld. Alderweireld, he's of course gonna run at him and go and try and get that header. Why doesn't someone with more experience like Mustafi or Kolasinac go? Sorry, not Kolasinac. He was off at the field at this point, but David Luiz, someone like that should be marking Alderweireld and should be marking Davinson Sanchez. That's just my opinion.
I don't see any defenders at Arsenal who really want to defend. Like someone who's going to dive for – remember when John Terry – remember when he dived to put his body on the line? Remember when Puyol would put his body on the line to block a shot? Ramos, the same thing. Though I may not like Ramos in that regard as a player really, but I can respect the fact that if someone told me, hey, we got to defend this lead, okay, bring Ramos in. Are you sure? Yes. I want someone who's willing to die. Like Vidic was willing to die. Sol Campbell was willing to die. Tony Adams was willing to die.
Pepe was willing to go to hell. Yeah,
and that's the thing. I want a defender who's nearly crazy. Every defender, great defender, has that tiny hint of crazy. It's like that girl that you want to date because she's I don't know, she just got that little hint of craziness, like that little, when you that girl is just a little bit crazy, but you into it. It's the same thing with defenders. You want that defender who's willing to do something unexpected, but for the right reasons. And I don't understand that. The most defender-like person on that team, and it's between these two, is truthfully, it's between Socrates and I'd say Tierney. Between those two, those are the closest people to real defenders. And even then, it's kind of difficult to even say anyone else. Mustafi's, he's just got a mistake in him. He just really does. His name gives it away.
Harry Kane had him falling on his arse second half.
He just
was
does
slipping around everywhere.
There, bro?
Yeah,
David
What was he doing there?
bro, he was sliding around doing nothing. I swear.
I told you, Hassan. Remember the first one we did? I told you, Mustafi always is fucking sliding for no goddamn reason. It makes no sense. I don't know what it is. David Luiz is doing what he always doing. David loses. That's what he's doing. That's what they should call him. David loses, not David Luiz. He's just not good.
David Luiz from the start was never a great defender. He was just known for his passes and his free kicks.
And this is another thing. Ever since Pep and City have done this, passing the ball and stuff like that, I feel like teams feel like, oh, we can do that too. No, you can't. Not every team can pass the ball. Not every team can have a defender who can pass the ball from this far out and stuff like that. I don't know why everyone keeps doing that. Scott, your side chick send you something good or something?
Nah, sorry. I just saw there was a post, and it was like.
Oh, you just sent us.
Google Translate. It was the North London Derby translates to the El Shitiko. I don't know. That just got to me, honestly.
Bro,
that was just funny.
But Scott, do you think I already asked you that, but Manav, what do you think? Do you think Arteta's to blame?
I think everyone's to blame. Even the players, even the manager, everyone. Like, the signings, first of all, don't make a lot of sense.
Well, we're not really going with the signings. We're more so just going with the game.
Oh, I don't want to speak about the game. Everyone knows here I support Arsenal in the PL, and no one was more disappointed than me. I'm pretty sure not even, I was more disappointed than Hassan was. I can say that with guarantee.
Wallahi, no. Are you crazy?
Yeah, I bet Hassan was so disappointed he just took off his sweater. He's like, I'm gonna do about 150 push-ups right now. Get more swole.
If I could do 150 push-ups, I would do it.
Oh man. But okay. Yeah, so we're all agreeing except Hassan. Hassan doesn't think Arteta had anything to do with it. I think he had very little. You know what?
The only reason I can blame Arteta is because of substitutions.
Yeah,
I don't think I can't blame him for the squad because he hasn't been funded, he hasn't been backed. He's dealing with Emery's squad pretty much. So he's dealing with players that he has to. It may not be players that he wants, but it's players that he has to deal with. So
basically, Mourinho.
Essentially, yeah. So I don't really blame Arteta for that. I can question his substitutions though, because some of them, like the one like Saka today, that didn't make sense to me. That one.
But if you had to put the blame on like a group, like if you had to choose between the players and then Arteta, would you all say it was more so the players than anything?
I would say 70-30.
Not the players, not the whole team, just the three.
Who are you blaming then, Hassan? Because you just said it's not Arteta's fault, but it's not.
I'm gonna be honest, Hassan. Aubameyang should have scored. He should have like a brace. He really should have. I know he can have an off day. He's earned the right to. But I'm like, bro, if you get that haircut like that, if you wearing the captain's armband like that, I need you to turn up for me, homie. I really need you to. And man, you know what's funny? Bro, what is it like when you go into the locker room and you look across from you and you look at David Luiz, Kolasinac, and Mustafi have really just cost you the game, but not for the first time. How do you be friends with them? I would end up just cussing them out. They'd have to kick me off the team. I couldn't do it. I would walk up to that motherfucker and just punch him in the throat, and they'd be like, "Why'd you do that? He just cost me a game."
Who's to blame, Hassan?
Who's to blame, Hassan?
Those three defenders. Fuck.
Just them.
Just those three defenders.
It was so bad. I feel like we need to take a knee for Martinez. Like after the BLM knee thing, we should take a knee and have 8 minutes of silence for Martinez because he should not have gone through what he did.
Martinez' life matters, man, for real. That guy, he faced so many shots in that second half.
Hey, people in the comments, Start trending that
Oh
shit.
my
Hashtag
God.
Martinez life matters. It's oh my goodness.
Honestly, like I'll be honest, since he's come in, he's actually been so good as well. Like he deserves a lot more like credit because he faced a lot of shots today, especially in the second half. And like some of them could have gone in. Like also the one he made in the first half when Ben Davies shot. And it like
Oh my goodness.
he tipped it onto the crossbar. That was incredible. I don't think the defense in front of him is, doing him justice for the job that he's doing. I think he's been very good since he's come in.
I bet he phones up Leno all the time. He's like, hey Leno, yeah, how the fuck are you dealing with this group? I don't know how you doing it. I hate talking to them in training. I hate dealing with them in games. I can't do it. I don't know how.
How the fuck did the defenders made a mistake the first 30 seconds and Harry Kane almost scored, bro.
Oh man.
Like you see that and you be like, what is going on with like the first 30 seconds?
That's another
How was
thing.
it for Martinez?
Do you think he should have started Pepe or Saka?
Saka.
That's debatable. It's maybe Saka.
What has Pepe done? He is a 72 million bench warmer right now.
He scored against the Farmers of Europe, but that's all he had.
He scored against Brighton. Okay, you still lost the game. All right, Saka. He gives you an assist. He gives you a goal against Wolves. Nah, you know what? I'm not gonna play in the next.
I'm not. Yeah, I'm not.
That is ridiculous. That's a ridiculous call. If he's making an impact, you start him. Give him confidence, man.
I think Pepe could have started if he started earlier games, but you just threw. It looks like he threw him into the lineup not because he's been training well, but because this is a big game and we did spend about 70-something mil on him, so we should probably play him.
What did Pepe do today? He didn't do anything. He didn't even run at Ben Davies. If you're a winger, like if you're playing kind of wide midfield, you want your wide midfielders to run at the opposition fullbacks, right? And Pepe just didn't do that. He kept cutting inside. It's like, take the middle out of the equation because you're just going to get stuffed, right? Go outside, take Ben Davies on, and like whip in a ball or like cut in and take a shot. Like take everyone in the middle out of the equation. Like he kept picking up the ball on the halfway line and driving inside. Like stay on the outside. That's all you needed to do. Like Saka would have done that.
You know who was amazing today? And I thought, if this one player was moved out the game, I don't think Arsenal really would have functioned as well. Ceballos. Oh my God, man. If he was literally almost everything. He was tracked back too. He was sprinting as hard. You know when someone runs really hard, but it looks so ugly? It looked like when they're running, it hurts. It looks like it hurts them. He was running, but it looked like it hurt him, but he was still doing it. I mean, he made Xhaka look better.
You take Ceballos out of that team,
I don't see y'all winning.
I don't see Arsenal getting. Arsenal lose possession. Arsenal don't get the chance. Like I'll be honest, even when it was the Leicester game and he played that ball through to Saka for the first goal, you need Ceballos in your team to make things work, to make things tick, because he does that. He does that. He's going to be such a loss as well when he goes back from loan. Because he's only extended the loan until the end of the season. So after these next 3 games, he's gone.
He was the one player
to fill that void.
Yeah, he was the one player I'd say out of 10. For me, he probably was at least an 8.
I'd say an 8. Honestly, he was the best player on the field.
He was your best player. And Lacazette, had the goal and stuff, but there were a couple chances he could have done better. But Ceballos, I mean, literally, I think the Spurs players started to try to make sure he didn't get the ball, because they knew it was if Ceballos gets it, it's going to the attack real quick, or he just controlled everything. So y'all are lucky to really have Ceballos. That was a good loan. That was your best. Yeah. That was your best non-official signing. Yeah, a loan player is your best signing so far.
Do y'all think we should buy him? Because Real Madrid doesn't want him.
Real Madrid loaned him out so that he can develop, and if he's playing this good,
but they still don't want him.
Ceballos has also said he doesn't want to stay at Arsenal. He's also said that. He said he wants to go back to Spain and play there. So
and he wants to come back to Real Madrid and play.
If he wants to play at Real Madrid, I think he's. It's like if Aubameyang said he wanted to leave. I think he's earned that right. I think Ceballos, if he wanted to go, it's listen.
Ceballos is going to replace Modric. Let's be honest. Modric is
yeah.
getting on.
I don't think he's good enough for Real Madrid.
Jordan, remember in the second episode I had said that I would like to place Luka Modric on the transfer list. Guess who's gonna replace him?
I figured it was Ceballos, yeah. But real quick, you guys, one person you can take out from Arsenal, one person that you can bring in. Who is it? Hassan, I'll let you start with that.
David Luiz. 10 bucks.
Bro, I want a center back real bad, bro. So real bad, bro. We're in need.
It's paining him. Look at how he's saying it, man. He's like,
Bro, you should have
so
seen
bad,
Abdi. Abdi was suffering when I talked about the defense. His head was down, everything. I was like, "Hey, you good? Like you talking like it was like someone died." Well, your defense did die. I'm not gonna lie.
Oh God, bro! It's like imagine how they feel. The strikers. I mean, I understand Aubameyang missed like a couple of chances. The midfielders, they tried their best. But imagine how they feel losing their game because of the defenders.
Oh yeah, I'd be talking shit to them every practice. I'll be like, "Really, Kolasinac, you making jokes, but you can't even make a pass forward. You can't even make a pass forward with your weak foot." I'd be fucking clowning them the whole practice. The whole practice.
So yeah, I'll get rid of one of those center backs.
Oh, but you gotta choose one.
Get
Sir.
rid of Kolasinac.
You gotta choose one.
Kolasinac.
Kolasinac.
Because David Luiz already signed his contract. So
Well, that's good because didn't you get him for free?
Yeah, free signing for
I think we did, yeah.
And
Well,
also,
you
you have Pablo Mari. He can come back next season. He'll play that left centre back role.
Yeah.
Okay. Who do you want to bring in?
So it has to be Upamecano.
Never,
Okay.
Very young.
never getting him though.
But Upamecano would never stay for Arsenal.
He's not gonna go play. He needs Europa League football
And
minimum.
Arsenal don't have the money to pay for him either.
I mean, Stan Kroenke said he'll pay up, so we'll see.
Don't trust that man. He
I
really
don't trust him, but
He's as untrustworthy as Kolasinac at the back. Really, you don't even try with Kroenke. But that's okay. Kolasinac out. That guy. I know you're talking about that kid. Scott, who do you think Arsenal should let go, and who do you think they should get?
Okay, so it's gonna be. Yeah, I'm actually gonna hold on to Kolasinac, but I'm not gonna play him at centre back. I would not play him at centre back because here's the thing: you don't have a backup left back for Tierney. I don't want to play Bukayo Saka left back because I don't think I would get the best out of him at left back. To be perfectly honest, he needs to be playing further up the field, either left wing or right wing. So I want to see someone who. Yeah, I want to see him further up the field. So Tierney would be the starting left back, obviously. But if I needed to play a backup, I would play Kolasinac because I don't think he's terrible at left back and he wouldn't be messing up like he would at centre back.
You would get rid of David Luiz, wouldn't you?
It's between him and Mustafi, but Mustafi, he's been all right for the last few matches, but
you sound like
Luiz,
a sin.
And it's just here's the thing: it's a really close. It's a really close one. It's
it's not close. No, let me guide you.
how about Socrates?
David loses. Don't trust him.
Socrates also is just picking up a wage on the bench.
Right?
I know. Here's the thing, though. It's been difficult because when I saw the Man City match and I saw the Brighton match, they were awful. And then they actually were okay during the Wolves match and the Leicester match. So,
but defensively, has Luiz ever really impressed you? Because I know Mustafi has, but the only thing David Luiz has ever done is ping a ball over for Aubameyang, and that's something Xhaka could, or any other. That's something someone else can do.
agreed. Being realistic, though, if we're going to be as realistic as possible, David Luiz has signed a new 1-year contract, so I can't get rid of him. I'm going to be realistic. I'm going to be realistic. I'm going to keep holding Mustafi as well. I'm going to get rid of Socrates. He's taking up space and he ain't playing. I'm going to get rid of him, and I'm going to get a new starting centre-back to take out David Luiz.
That's a big move. That's a big move.
And if I'm getting a centre back, I'm getting Lewis Dunk.
Who?
I'm getting Lewis Dunk.
Look at one now. I'm like, who?
I'm getting Lewis Dunk from Brighton. He is better than every single centre back Arsenal have right now, and he's no nonsense. He's the Brighton captain, and he's 20.
Wait, can you say the name again?
Lewis Dunk.
Louis Dunk.
Bro, you know him. You've seen him play. He balled out. He balled out when Arsenal.
Oh,
played
Louis
Brighton.
Dunk.
Yeah, honestly.
I couldn't understand your accent. Sorry.
He's one of the most underrated centre backs in the league. He's just a dog. He's big. He's strong. He loves a header. He's just a proper English centre back. I'll be honest, and I think Arsenal need that. Like, you have Rob Holding and stuff. Yeah, that's cool, but he's still developing. You need someone right now who can get in that team and who's going to organise stuff. Lewis Dunk talks constantly when he's playing at Brighton. He talks constantly with his backline, not just because he's the captain. It's because he wants to keep a clean sheet. You know, he's communicating with his backline. He comes to Arsenal, he's going to bring that with him, you know? And personally, I think he would be the guy that would make a difference in that Arsenal backline. I do.
Okay.
You know? I honestly do.
Manav, who do you think?
I'm gonna be freaking unrealistic here. Get the fuck out, David Luiz. No one's here. Please get out. The mistake of assigning, like, why did Arsenal go for him in the first place? He was never ever a great defender. He was
Look at Hassan has his head down. Yeah, man. I'm sorry. We're going for him.
Yes. Like, no. It's disgraceful player right now. You should just go to China like every other Brazilian who wants to retire.
Okay. Who would you bring in?
And the center back I want to bring in is Ruben Diaz.
Okay.
What? I don't understand Scott's reaction.
That's like 50 mil. That's mad money, man.
Even I know that's 50 mil. And you know how? Because I played Football Manager. I had to spend 50 mil for him before.
That's 50 I
Actually, I had to spend 60 mil.
Here's the thing. I'm being realistic. And, like, let's be honest. Arsenal are not going to want to spend money. They won't. Like, Lewis Dunk is probably going to cost maybe 30 mil. Max. Like, that would probably be, like, the most realistic to get if you really want to strengthen up that backline. Ruben Diaz and Upamecano, yeah, they're probably going to be better in the future.
Would be like really unrealistic, but Ruben Diaz playing for Benfica right now, and he might want to upgrade, and he's actually a really good center back.
But it's Benfica.
It's not going to come.
It's in the Portuguese league.
Benfica's going to, like, get either Europa League or Champions League football, so why would he want to come to Arsenal?
He's going to replace Ronaldo as captain of Portugal in the nearby future, for sure.
Okay.
Guy's a beast.
So Ruben Diaz and David Luiz. Okay, that's understandable. I'm proud of David Luiz. People in the comments, if you think that David Luiz should stay, please leave it below so I can proudly tell you to fuck off.
I was just about to say, if you commented if you want him to stay, you're a retard.
If you had to get rid of one person, it would be David Luiz for me. If I was going to get one person, I'm thinking realistic-wise. I don't think Arsenal signing anyone for over 50 mil. If I'm being honest, I just don't think you have the money. I just don't think it's there. And if maybe you do have the money, but you're not going to willing to spend the money, I want Nathan Ake. I like Nathan Ake. I like him. And at least he's fast enough and he's smart enough to make some moves. If you replace him with David Luiz in that spot, at least I could trust him to not. At least if Kolasinac gave Nathan Ake that pass, I'm pretty sure Nathan Ake could have recovered a lot better. Because although it was a bad pass, remember when Luiz stopped and had to turn back? You see how time stood still when he had to do that? How the earth fucking just stood still? Took 30 years for that man to turn around and go chase after Son, who made him look like a fucking child.
Yeah.
I mean, it's Arsenal really. If you guys play with that system with three people in the back, you guys need pace. more than anything else. And Ake actually has some pace on him. He's not the tallest guy, but even then, he's still quick enough to where if Mustafi or Kolasinac makes a mistake, he's going to be like, I'll sweep for you. And then next season, you guys will get another center back. And then next season, you get another center back. And next season, you get another – or each transfer window. I don't know how you guys are going to work, but for the next few transfer windows, I shouldn't see you guys really signing anyone attacking-wise. I should just see midfield – I should see defense and midfielders, because goalkeeper-wise, you guys have the best two goalkeepers for backup and starters I've seen. I mean, truthfully, yeah. You say Leno, trust him in goal. I would trust Martinez in goal almost equally. I would trust Leno over Martinez, though. But
it's looking like Leno's going to actually have to fight to get back into that team.
Yeah,
I'll be honest.
I don't think so. I don't think so.
With how well Martinez has been performing.
I mean, Martinez has not had a bad moment.
He's been good.
I understand, but I don't think he'll just straight back.
See, that's the Arsenal problem. Y'all just let people walk straight back into the team. Y'all need to have people fight for it.
That's what Bellerin did. Ainsley was doing really well at right back. Bellerin came back straight back in.
Yeah, he did pretty good today. I'll give him that.
Pepe
I would still sell his ass whenever I could. But yeah, he did good.
But if it's that easy to get straight back in the lineup, then there's no reason that Leno shouldn't get straight back in. You feel me?
No.
Okay.
Here's the thing. If you're performing well, why would you take him out of the lineup? You know, why would you take Martinez out of the lineup? Why would you take Saka out of the lineup and start Pepe? You know, Pepe hasn't done much since coming in. Saka's been consistently pretty good.
Unless there was something in training we missed, maybe Pepe was amazing in training or something, but it should have. That's the thing. Was there an explanation for Pepe starting? Did he say that?
He just wanted to flex his New Balance.
He rested for the last two games, so he probably thinking, oh, he's fresh. He probably did well in training or something. So
it's
he started him.
I don't really blame Martinez like that, but to be fair, you probably have the worst defense. You have your defense is almost level with Barcelona's, in my opinion. Maybe a little bit better, actually. Maybe a little bit better.
No.
I don't know, man. I don't know.
Sunday League defense can defend better than us, to be honest with you. Sunday League team defense.
Well, if an Arsenal fan's saying that, damn, okay. I guess shit has to be called.
Bro, listen, Tottenham, they're shit. You don't understand. Their past couple of games, they've been shocked. They've been so bad, and we lost to this team. It doesn't really make sense. But
it's okay. A good night's rest is surely gonna help you in the morning.
Nah,
you'll still remember it. Nah, I'm not bad. You'll still remember it.
I'm watching the game again.
Shit.
After.
Oh no. You don't want to have to get nightmares, man.
Don't do that to yourself.
Yeah, that's not healthy. 1-800 call a friend. Last team
really hurt.
Last team we gotta talk about, and the last instant we gotta talk about. Scott, this is your team.
Yeah.
Was Bruno's foul? Was it a foul for Bruno? Was it actually a foul, or do you think? Okay, Hassan was already saying no foul. Manav, what do you think? Is it foul or no? Just yes or no question. This is all I want to know.
Yes.
It's a foul?
Yeah, I think that was a foul.
Scott, what do you think?
It's soft. It's really soft. I'll be honest, I'm a Man U fan, but it's soft. It is. And I feel bad because here's the thing. Ezri Konsa's my boy. I actually rate Ezri Konsa at Aston Villa. And, he just kind of fell on by Bruno Fernandes and then got penalised. So, yeah, I wouldn't have given that as a pen. I'll be honest with you. But
Okay.
you know, like we could have even gone without the pen and like still won. You know, but I guess it did just kind of shape the match a little bit more. But either way,
Stop using the Real Madrid philosophy. Paying the referees is our thing.
I just don't think like it wasn't a pen for me. It's a bit soft.
I don't think it was a pen either. I think the fact that I was given a pen, and not only that, I don't know if you guys saw it, but the Juventus and Atalanta highlights. I don't know if you guys saw that with the two handballs, but it was. See, this is the thing about VAR. I like that there's technology now, but the people who make the decisions behind, they're just fucking it up, and it's just like, this isn't the game.
It's kind of bullshit because if you saw the Crystal Palace match today, a header came off Mamadou Sakho's shoulder, went into the back of the net, and the referee gave it as a handball. Like, that's ridiculous, you know? Like, how? That's ridiculous. And then as well, there was an instance where Jack Grealish fell over. Was like, he had his foot on top of Patrick Van Aanholt's, and he fell over. VAR looked at it and then just said, yeah, no penalty. Give him a yellow card, though. He dove. Like, it was clear as day, and he didn't get a yellow card. So I don't really know what VAR is being used for, to be honest. I don't. Like,
I don't want VAR. I actually miss the old style because even when I was playing in games and stuff, and when the referee would make a bad call, if I was clearly offsides but the referees didn't see it, it would just motivate me next time to just check more. You know, just to make sure I was on side next time. It would make me more motivated. Or if I won the ball but the referee calls a penalty, I think to myself, maybe I could have done better defensively. Maybe I shouldn't even let him get to the penalty area. You know, whenever the referee makes a mistake, even though I may at that time think it's a mistake, I'm also thinking, you know, maybe I could have prevented this somehow. This is just me as a player. I don't know how you guys think, but
I think it's bad. I think the way it's being used is bad.
It's unfair.
The way it's being used is bad. I personally believe they should do it like they do it in rugby. Now, how they do it in rugby is if there's a call, you can hear the referee, you know, speaking into his mic. Like the people on TV can hear the referee speaking into his mic, and he's talking with someone up in the booth, and they have like big screens in the stadium. They re-show what just happened. One, they can get a crowd reaction from it. Two, the referee can see it plain as day, and he can go over it with someone in his ear. He doesn't need someone else doing it for him. They can look over it together, and he can ask advice from the person to get the call right. That's what they do in rugby. It works really well, and they should do it for VAR. That's how I think VAR should be run. Like, how it's run right now is kind of broken. You know, you have one person looking at it, and the referee on the field just has to trust him, unless the referee on the field just wants to go over and take a look. There's no, like, in between and, like, asking for advice, and, you know, like, the people at home can't hear the thought process as well, which is something that I think needs to be changed.
I mean, if that works, it works. So, in terms of, okay, so we all agree in terms of, well, except Manav. Manav thinks that was a penalty. Us three, we don't. And we got a United fan who agrees that it isn't. So, I think that's a win. I think that's a good win.
Should have gotten a yellow card for that, to be honest.
I think you should have too. I fucking hate diving. I've never liked it, and when I was in Europe and stuff and playing, I would want to fight people when they dive. I never understood that. I've just never understood that, how it's coached and taught.
I wouldn't say it was a dive. I wouldn't. I said it was really so, and it was unfortunate because Ezri Konsa, he put his foot in there, won the ball first, and Bruno's momentum when he turned just kind of took him into Ezri Konsa, and he fell over. It's not a pen because Ezri Konsa, like, he got the ball. He did. But then, like, Bruno Fernandes, like, just his momentum took him over. So I wouldn't say it's a yellow card. Like, the one today from Jack Grealish was ridiculous. Like, it was honestly comedic how he fell over. That should be a yellow card. But it depends on, like, momentum and that. So
but Bruno, he was holding his leg like he was hurt. He wasn't hurt. He stepped on that guy's leg and then fell over, and he realized the opportunity, so he just acted like he was hurt. He wasn't really hurt. Yeah. He just sees the opportunity. And that's what people will say. They'll say it's like it was a smart play. No, that's cheating. That's not smart. It's cheating. It's like saying, oh, you know that bank is open all the time? We should go rob it. Oh, that's smart. No, that's stealing. That's stealing. It's still wrong. It's still stealing. You still go to jail for it. if you're caught. So I mean, if he got away with it, he got away with it. That's what happened at the end of the day. But I just don't think. I think that to say that it's not a foul is the right call. But if that's another thing. I actually want to see like ex-professional players in the VAR booth. I would be more comfortable about that, especially like more like the people who will play it like in the Premier League. Like if I get like if Rio Ferdinand is in the VAR room and he's like that's a pen, I'm like, okay, cool, I trust that. You know what a prem looks like. You know what a penalty looks like. I just don't trust referees who just went to school or some shit or took an online class that took 30 minutes to complete and then goes out there on the field and says, I'm a Premier League ref. Let's get that shit done. I just don't like that shit. But I actually do want to ask this real quick because I've heard a lot of Luke Shaw shit, but I just want to see from your opinion, Scott, if you had to get rid of one United player, who would it be? And who do you have to bring in one person?
Get rid of Phil Jones.
Phil Jones?
Yeah.
Yeah, I figured it was from last time too. Hassan?
Same. Phil Jones.
Phil Jones?
Yeah.
Manav, Phil Jones?
Jesse Lingard.
Okay. Scott, who would you bring in?
I'd want a center back. I think Skirino would work. Like he'd work well in that system. Him or like I'm going to be realistic and say Skirino is probably the one that would make more sense than Koulibaly. I don't think Koulibaly would want to come to Manchester United. So I'd just say, yeah, Skirino would probably be the one. Like we need a world class like centre back. Like just someone who can go there and like ball out.
You don't think Koulibaly is world class?
No, I do think, but I'm being realistic. I don't think he'd want to come to Manchester United.
Really?
I don't say, he's looking at Liverpool, he's looking at Man City. Like, if I'm being realistic right now, like, I'd try and get Skirino,
Okay.
Either that or, yeah, probably just Skirino.
Okay. Hassan, who would you get?
I'll probably say I think Koulibaly would consider Man United because he's probably looking at them right now.
I would think so. He's looking at y'all too. Yeah, I would agree with Hassan. This is the best time to be looking at United. Y'all actually look like.
Honest to God, I would pay 100 mil for Koulibaly to come to Manchester United. I would. I think he's worth that. I wouldn't pay 120 mil for Sancho because we don't need him right now. We need to improve that defense, and I think Koulibaly's the guy. Skirino's the guy. We need to spend money on those kind of players, so need to get him in.
Honestly, what's actually a better defense? Van Dijk, Gomez, Alexander-Arnold, Robertson, or Luke Shaw, Maguire, Koulibaly, and Wan-Bissaka?
Van Dijk on it.
Yeah, Van Dijk.
Van Dijk.
The Liverpool
I would say
defense.
so. I would honestly say that Liverpool defense.
That back four is better than the other back four?
Here's the thing, though. I'd say there are, as individual players, Wan-Bissaka is better defensively than Trent. I would say Joe Gomez is better than Lindelof. Van Dijk's better than Maguire. But then Luke Shaw is better than Robertson. Controversial, but I do believe that.
No, I believe you. I think Luke Shaw's better than Robertson.
Defensively, I feel Luke Shaw is better than Andrew Robertson.
I think Luke Shaw is definitely more injury prone, but I think Robertson, he's only as good as he is because he plays for Liverpool. I think he couldn't walk into really any other team. That's why.
Not true.
Yeah, because who else bought him? Who else was going to buy him from Hull City?
He came from a second division Scottish team.
That's great, but he came in because of his attitude, not because of his sheer ability. He came in because he had great attitude. He did.
He was balling out.
I'm sorry. He's just not one of those amazing defenders. He's not gifted defensively. He's just a guy who works hard, who's going to scream at the referee, and who is a great leader in the dressing room and on the pitch. But, I mean, if you put him up against the best offensive winger, that person's going up against him. You can name me any of the top 3 wingers in the world on the left-hand side. Yeah, on the right-hand side, and they're beating him.
He got exposed by Phil Foden in the Man City Liverpool match. Like if you saw that, if you saw Phil Foden's goal, he got absolutely exposed. Yeah. Why the hell would you step on Phil Foden in that moment? You could just stand in front of him and be fine.
Mahrez would expose him. Rashford would expose him. Sancho would expose him. Greenwood would expose him. I mean, he's a great guy. He's a great player, but he's not world class. I don't think he ever will be world class.
I think the disadvantage he's having is he's hitting his prime late. Like he's low at 26, 27. Like he's hitting his prime quite late, which is unfortunate, you know. Yeah. So, but he's I honestly think offensively he's very good. He can whip in crosses really well. He's quick, you know, so he can actually keep up with wingers, which makes it look like he's good defensive wise. And I would say he's a little bit better defensively than Trent.
Yeah.
I would say he's better defensively than Trent, but I'd say attacking wise, he's more built for like that kind of. He's a wing back. He was playing wing back at Hull. He was left wing back at Hull because they played a 5 at the back. So he's built for that kind of wing back, like stamina, running up and down the line, that sort of stuff. He didn't really have to worry about the defensive duties. He can defend in moments, but he can't really defend consistently like all the time.
For me, I don't see him and Chilwell were on reverse situations. I think Chilwell will be at the same level Robertson is. I think it's just under a matter of circumstances. And more than anything, Manav, he's looking about the knockout.
Yeah, kind of getting a little bit sleepy.
Yeah, me too. You said you would. Who would you said you were? You would get again, Hassan?
Yeah, it has to be Koulibaly.
Koulibaly? Okay.
It has to be.
Manav, who would you let go? And who would you get? My bad. I already know who you let go.
Ferran Torres.
Ferran Torres?
Yep.
This man looking up FM20 hidden attributes, stars, and shit like that. I know what you're doing. I know what you're doing.
No, I'm not. I play FM19, so I'm not even up to date with like the FM stuff.
Oh, I just got FM20. It's really not that different. I've just started managing Arsenal, and I just sold Aubameyang, and
I managed Cambridge United, and I made them win UCL.
Oh, see, I can't do that with the. I do that in real life, but I can't do it in the game. I'm a great coach in real life, but if you give me a game, I'm like, I just want to manage my club, or if it's either Arsenal or AC Milan, one of the two.
So I think they need a good right winger because like Daniel James, I think still needs to prove himself. Yeah, prove himself would be more of the thing. Like he came in, had a few good starts, and then like I don't think he was the same anymore. Mm-hmm. And currently Ferran Torres has been linked to Manchester City, and he's a really good right winger, and he would complete the void on the right wing, and they would have a complete attack. So instead of Sancho, if they got him, he would actually be a really good choice.
Okay.
But like Sancho is good, don't get me wrong, but in no way hell they're going to be able to afford Sancho or Koulibaly right now.
Okay. I would get rid of that's tough between Jones and Lingard because I think they're just both.
The reason why I love Lingard is because he dances at the Emirates. Like, what kind of player does that? You know, it's just there's levels to this game, man.
Hassan is right here. Probably.
There's levels to this game, man. He makes the Emirates his dance floor, and for that kind of shithousery I can get behind, you know. I enjoy that, but like Phil Jones, he just doesn't give me anything, you know. Like,
he gives you a headache. Yeah. That's all he does.
Lingard is not a player where everybody thinks he is. Obviously, he's shit. He can't do anything. But if he really plays in a system, in a good system where if it's Lingard, he's actually good. You've seen him in the England squad.
I've seen him have like good games. At some point.
When Oli started coaching Man U, he only had one tactic that was hitting teams on the break. And that only worked with, that's why they beat Man City. That only worked with good teams. But he did that against fucking Brian and everybody, like with 5 defenders. Like, that wasn't necessary, really. That's why Lingard couldn't work in that system. But if he actually plays in a system where it fits how like Lingard's play style, I really think Lingard can be a good player in the team.
That's a great argument, actually. You know, Hassan, and you made me make my choice a lot easier between.
No, I'm telling you, because I've seen him. He had a wonderful season, like the past 2 seasons and the World Cup here.
Okay. Yeah, I was torn between Jones and Lingard, but thanks to Hassan, I know who exactly I would get rid of. Lingard. Okay. Yeah, I did. I would get rid of Lingard. Jones can go play for the under 20 fucking something. I don't know, but he just wouldn't play. If I wouldn't care, he just wouldn't play. If I was gonna sign one person, I think I said Ake last time, but that was because I think it was like 3 people I said we can choose. But if I had to choose one, you guys want to use money on anyone? Varane.
Varane's gonna go to United. What's wrong with you? What are you smoking?
I'm gonna just get Kabak. Fuck it. I don't know. Like, let's just get that dude.
I told you he was
bro.
What's
his potential on So FIFA?
What's so
like an 80 something potential. So FIFA?
I think you don't know what So FIFA is, Matt?
No, I don't know what So FIFA is.
Nah, type in on Google.
Yeah.
Just type in So FIFA and click on
it's
like.
What you use.
Kabak is literally said to be the next Maldini.
What do you say?
Kabak is literally said to be the next Maldini.
I don't believe when people say they're going to be the next something or next Ronaldo.
That's Maldini. Disrespectful to Maldini.
That is just.
Maldini's a god defender, man.
Let him be the next Varane. Just let him be his own person. It's like Lukaku. Remember when everyone was saying, "Oh, Lukaku's going to be the new Drogba"? Nah. Look at him now.
Oh shit! 86 potential.
He's found it.
But yeah, I think Maguire and Varane would be a great partnership. But don't get me wrong, Koulibaly would be a great signing. But I think what you guys are missing back is a center back with pace. And Koulibaly has pace as well, but Varane, quickest defender in the world. I don't see why you wouldn't bring that to the Premier League, especially when you play with such a high fucking line. I mean, Remember when you see Luke Shaw and Wan-Bissaka running back, and then you see Matic running back, which takes 3 days and 22 seconds? I mean,
it's long.
It's long. Varane is just like, bruh, that shit's cold-blooded.
Like, why player-wise, I think we're okay. Like, tracking back Wan-Bissaka, he'll be fine. He's quick and he can do that. Luke Shaw, his pace bails him out a lot of the time because I like Luke Shaw, but he does get out of position quite a bit. He does have his flaws. He does get out of position quite a bit, but his pace makes up for it defensively and he gets back into position and, stops, players, gets back and makes defensive headers, that sort of stuff. We do need that quick centre-back, though. I don't think Lindelof can do that, and certainly not Maguire. I don't think Maguire's that kind of centre-back. So, yeah, someone with pace would be ideal.
Okay. I have one last question, and it's actually one of the hardest questions I saw. I saw this somewhere else. My boy TJ put this up in our little group. He said, drop, bench, and start between De Bruyne, Bruno, and Pogba. Who would
start, bench, or?
Yeah, who would you drop? Who would you start, and who would you bench between those 3?
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Start
I'll
Bruno.
drop Bruno. Easy.
Bench De Bruyne. No, wait. Bench Pogba. Drop De Bruyne. And the whole world goes crazy.
This man Manav capping. He capping. Nah. What? Wait. Say that again. I want to make sure all the viewers heard that correctly.
All right. Let me repeat myself. I'm gonna start Bruno. I'm gonna bench Pogba, and I'm gonna drop Kevin De Bruyne.
Wow. This is a United fan too. This is a United fan walking off over here.
No, I'm not.
No, this is Scott's a United fan, and he can't even agree with your decision.
Yo, I'll be honest. I start De Bruyne every single day of the week.
I would do the same thing.
You cannot judge a player off of one good month. Bruno has been brilliant for 1 month. I want to see consistency, though. I want to see consistency, though. I want to see him, be like consistent for like. I want to see him be consistent for 6 months to a year.
And with that,
De Bruyne has always been consistent.
Who's yours?
Mine, De Bruyne starts. Bench. I'm gonna bench Bruno. I'm gonna drop Pogba. Pogba's injured half the time. So, I mean, I just say, look, I'm gonna just drop him. But that's also you can't really compare Pogba to Bruno and De Bruyne simply because Pogba is a different kind of player from those two. De Bruyne and Bruno are very much so center attacking mids, they're creative players. Pogba's a box-to-box midfielder, so I do feel that's kind of...
Wait, what? Pogba's box-to-box?
Yeah.
Nah, well, what the hell are you saying?
Yeah,
He's box-to-box easily. He goes forward, he can get forward, but then he also does track back. And, picks up the ball from deep and he can spray passes. That's what he does. He's box-to-box. He's not a center attacking mid. He's not staying he doesn't get to free roam. He has a job.
And Manav is looking at the FM19.
I'm playing for mobile.
Okay.
That's just my honest opinion. If you are going to say who would you rather have? Would you rather have De Bruyne? Would you rather have Bruno Fernandes or James Rodriguez? That would be a better question. But I don't think you can put Pogba in that same category as De Bruyne and Bruno Fernandes because they play different positions. So I'm gonna start De Bruyne. I'm gonna bench Bruno and I'm gonna drop Pogba simply because it's unfair for Pogba.
All right. He this man just benched. He just dropped a guy who just didn't Pogba break the world transfer record 4 or 5 years ago?
Something like that. It's been smashed now by someone like João Felix or whatever.
Yeah, I think João Felix is overrated, but that's another discussion.
Yeah,
he's very overrated. Hassan, what do you think? Who are your three?
Bruno's getting dropped. Pogba bench, De Bruyne starts. I actually want to see Bruno score goals from open play rather than penalties. Because he scored many, how many penalties did he score?
I think every single one.
7. That's crazy to me.
Good.
And it's crazy how Man U got 16 penalties this season. What, is Alex Ferguson back or something? What's going
on? Well, I'm sorry. Who would you say you would start?
Bruno. No. De Bruyne and Pogba bench.
Nah. Hassan wants to start Ceballos. Let's be honest. That's why he can't pick him. He wants to start his boy. He wants Ceballos to be pulling strings in that. He just wants
if I could,
that's quite
even harder question. Start, drop, bench, Cruz, De Bruyne, Bruno.
That's an easy. I would drop Cruz.
It's different position.
Yeah, I drop Cruz.
He ain't a cam.
Oh, we're talking about cams only?
Yeah, De Bruyne and Bruno Fernandes, they're cams. They're center-attacking mids.
Pogba in the mix.
I don't know. That was just a question that was online, but I thought it was unfair because Pogba's a box-to-box midfielder rather than a cam. So that's what.
I would. Oh, by the way, I would start Pogba, bench De Bruyne, and drop Bruno. Yeah. I think Pogba's I think he's the most complete midfielder I've ever seen on his day.
Yeah.
He can do everything.
He gets into any team.
Any team. On his day, he is hands down the best midfielder in the world. And I love De Bruyne, but he's just different gravy. He just really is.
Pogba, I love how he can be like that box to box. I
Yeah.
don't see De Bruyne as that same kind of box to box. Pogba is just different that way. He can go deep and just like spray passes like 50, 60 yards, and he can find people's feet, you know. I don't see De Bruyne doing that. I see De Bruyne picking up the ball and driving at people, which is what makes him different. But I mean, Pogba, yeah, it's different. But I wouldn't compare him to like Bruno and De Bruyne in that way. I feel like that's unfair.
All right. This wraps up it, guys. I think it's actually been like, I swear to God, I feel like it's been 3 hours or something like that. So I know we're all tired. I'm dead ass tired right now. I know that for sure. Thank you guys for coming. I know it was a struggle to get here today. I know some of you guys have homework. I know some of you guys have shit to do. Well, I was going to say tomorrow, but today. You have shit to do today. But thank you guys for being here. If anyone who have comments below, comment down below, you know, what you guys want us to talk about. I'll put the Instagram accounts of all you guys down below in the description. Anything else you want me to put down there, just let me know. But go ahead and like this video and subscribe to the channel. There are going to be more episodes in the future, and possibly not even just on soccer. They're probably going to be on different sports, but, you know, we'll be planning on different things and stuff like that. So we'll see. We'll see. But thank you guys for coming again, and I'll talk to you guys soon.
All right.
Take it easy.
You too. Peace.
All right, guys.
One, two, three, four.